What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going, Pelican Warrior Game?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome back to episode 1. That's right, it's Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is the first show, because we don't move on till we get it right, and that is one thing we have not done well, is get the show right. Guys, I'm at Ref Marsh. This is at WOTR, the show. With me today, as always, Miss Amanda Jane. Say hello.
Hello. Waving with a wing.
And as per the semi-huge as of late, lots been going on with Clump in his life, so we've been having an on-call stand-in, as it seems. JustinTime 211. He's back. Say hello, man.
What's up? Episode 1 indulgers. JustinTime here.
It's exciting to be on the first episode.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
No pressure.
Right?
Yeah, no pressure.
No
You gotta
pressure.
love it. Episode 1. Best way to kick off, to like end your night.
Yeah, it's a nice way. Nice little thing to do. I apologize for the lighting, and I'm noticing the coloring. I look sunburnt. I promise I'm not sunburnt. But we're trying new stuff out around here, and this is what it looks like today. This is what it's just going to be. Doing it from the dungeon, live and burnt.
Not even burnt. Oh, good Lord.
No, this is the Shark family dungeon.
But you know what?
No
At
doubt.
least you're not Wrestler Orange.
That's a good point. I'm not Pete Dunne Orange by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Splinter Fox coming through. Ding dong. Hello. Welcome, Splinter Fox. Let's start off with the easy stuff. Hey, let's start with Justin. Justin, what's in your glass? What are you drinking?
I have Sarnak orange cream soda. Really freaking good.
Sarnak? I don't know why it doesn't. Is that like specific to the coast thing?
I guess so. I'm not really 100% sure.
I don't think that's a nationwide soda. I don't think.
Well, no, but I don't really drink it a lot. I just kind of occasionally grab it when I see it.
Yeah. All right. All good. All good. Amanda, what are you drinking? What's in your glass? Amanda's gone. Justin, you still there with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
You know
There
what?
we go.
Oh, there we go.
You know what? Technology is not my friend today.
It's
Let me
episode 1.
It's good. It's
Let me tell
episode
you.
1. I mean, we've busted all the lights out. We've burned me with. The technology is not on our side today, but it's only episode 1, so it's no big deal. So go ahead. What's in your glass?
Oh, in my class?
Yes.
You.
Me. Well, see, part of the reason why I accidentally signed off of Zoom is because I pre-gamed. And I told you guys on Twitter yesterday that for episode 1, I was going to pre-game. And boy, did I pre-game, because I have a nice triple. It was a shot. It wasn't even a shot. It was even more than that. But it was a lot of Woodford Reserve double barrel. So I'm chasing it down with a Coke and wings, garlic Parmesan wings, and a burger and onion rings.
I was about to say, don't forget that burger.
Yes, because I'm sorry, no sponsored, not sponsored this week.
Hell yeah. I'm going to finish off. We have Kraken we've been trying to get rid of for a while. So I'm going to finish off the Kraken, and I'm going to mix it with some Tijuana black tea, because I just wanted some black tea today, man. That's all I wanted. Let's see in the chat real quick. Spinner Fox says he's drinking water with lemonade.
Wait, water with lemonade?
It's water with with lemonade Mio water enhancement. It's those little squirts.
Oh,
You get a couple
okay.
little squirts up into your water, and now you got a whole new drink.
I was
Oh,
about to say, it's like
Well-
watered down lemonade.
Yeah, little
that
spritzes.
doesn't make
Like what?
a lemonade diet if you put water in it.
Yeah, it does. It cuts the sugar down.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
Mm.
producer lady is all about those little squirts as well. She gives little spritz. Yeah, little spritz, little water spritz. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Let's see. We got Leah Moonlight in the chat says she's having coffee with almond. I hope that that's not just like a almond flavoring. I hope that like she's literally having it like how people put a cherry in their sodas. I hope she's just got like an almond sitting on the top of her coffee drink.
That's class. I tell you, that would be classy.
That does sound pretty classy.
Yeah, and Leah would be someone I would think that would do that. Oh.
Me too.
Bravo, if it's true.
Oh no, she's got almond milk. I still think that she should put just a little almond on top, like a little half almond. It'll float.
Or
guys,
almond cookie. You know,
Ooh,
almond cookie.
Garnish it. You know, put it on the. Bite it out like a lemon and put it on the side. You know. Or
those cookies where you get at the restaurants where it has like it's like almost a sugar cookie with an almond in the middle.
Yeah, the Chinese restaurants. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't remember where I got them. I just remember I used to see them every now and again.
Chinese restaurants. Right. Yes.
Guys, let's do some housekeeping. I mean, as long as it's early, as long as we're still not drunk, while I can still remember it, let's talk New Wave Coffee. We have a sponsor. It's a sponsor, yes, sponsor. Actual sponsor. We got New Wave Coffee, NOOWAVE.co is where you go to their site. They have given our listeners a promo code. Promo code CHEERS will give you an additional 10% off their already ongoing sale. They have a sale going on. I don't know for how long, but it's already knocked off like almost a third of what it would be to get whatever product you're looking for. To be honest, they got coffee, they got mugs, they got shirts, and they also have a subscription service. So much like how you can get your razors shipped to you every month or so or whatever, they do have on their site, you can order a bag of coffee however often you need it. They have like, I think weekly, bi-weekly, and I think every 2 months, and then every 1 month, I think are the 4 subscription services they have. And the 10% off promo code CHEERS does apply now to subscriptions. You don't get 10% off the entire subscription. You get an additional 10% off the first bag in your subscription. So check them out, guys. This is a really cool coffee. I tried it first, and then I liked it so much I reached out to the owner of it. The owner of it is an indie wrestler out in Florida, and he was trained by Lance Storm. So you support this coffee, you support indie wrestling, and we know how much we all like wrestling or you wouldn't be here. But this coffee, I decided to try it because I'd met the guy before in New York, and I saw he was endeavoring on this, and it looked like it was doing pretty good. And I was like, you know what? I really want to try it. So I bought a bag, and it was so good. I reached out to him and said, hey, do you have any problem if I shout it out on the air on my podcast? I was like, is it okay? He said, not only is it okay, he goes, I'm going to go ahead and sponsor the show. Let's just do it. So this is what we're doing. It is specialty grade coffee with L-theanine and raw cacao for productivity and creativity. So this promises to give better energy, focus, and mood more so than a regular cup of coffee while decreasing the negative side effects like anxiety and blood pressure. And I'll say that having had some of this, I felt it different. So check it out, guys. newwave.co coffee. Spinner Fox says in the chat, I don't like indie wrestling. Not true. I don't like shitty wrestling, so I don't watch AEW. I do like indie wrestling.
Jeez.
Some of it shitty, not all of it shitty.
Well,
You know,
if he wants to come in swinging, I'm going to strike back.
Damn.
Dang.
But
Dang.
let's talk a little about the news. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let's do it. Oh, I will throw this out just because we're still in the month. It is the month of June still. Capo Cagna Wine is doing 20% of all sales for the month is going to go to the Trevor Project for its crisis intervention, suicide prevention for LGBTQ youth. So since it is Pride Month, they are doing that. So if you're interested in getting some really good wine, they're doing it at a really good cause. So
I'm
worth checking out
excited.
Capo Cagna as well.
I'm excited. I'm getting some.
You are? You should.
Mhm.
You should definitely get some.
Yeah.
Get some coffee too. Let's talk news. A couple things. We'll just start with a simple thing and then get right into it, I think. Leo Rush announced the other day that he retired officially. He announced he got injured at Double or Nothing, and the injury was bad enough that it made him at least reevaluate. I don't think that it was so bad that it's like he's unable to wrestle because of his injury, but I think his injury is going to have him out long enough, and it made him reevaluate everything. So he's decided he's just not going to come back to wrestling. That's it. That's the end of it. However, in his same 2 posts about how he's definitely retiring, he also put his email and said for future bookings, reach out here. And you're like, well, the fuck? So I'm a little confused, but he says he's definitely done with wrestling. We'll start with Justin. What do you think about Lio Rush retiring, man?
It definitely surprised me. He's so young to be retiring, and I still think he had a really bright future ahead of him, but if he really wants to call it like here already, he does still have his music, and I think that'll still help. It'll still be fine doing that. I think his music's not really that bad, honestly.
Yeah,
I listened to his new album when it came out, and definitely great.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too, because I even figured with an injury, he's the type of dude, I think, that if he refocused his career goals and refocused his energies, he could be, not that he already is or anything, but that he could be the single best manager that wrestling has. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He did such a bang-up job with Bobby Lashley. He might not be the best manager of all time, but he was doing such a good job with that. It makes me think, like, oh, if he focuses energies on that, the same way he focused it on just wrestling, I think he'd be unstoppable there. Amanda, what do you think about all this?
Well, this isn't the first time that he's retired.
True.
Probably not the last. So, yeah, it's kind of shocking. But for me, again, alarm bells go off because yet another person has been injured at AEW.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is Tony Khan aware? Does he really understand what's going on? Like, is his his doctors or whatever the hell they have, are they like saying, hey, dude, a lot of this is preventable?
It seems. I didn't see the spot where it happened, but yeah.
But Lio Rush, though, I know whatever he's going to do, it's going to be fantastic. I did think it was a little carmy and funny that he did, say for bookings, for future bookings. So I think for now, he might be, hidden for a little while, and you never know. He might pop up somewhere. Most likely, probably like GWC with Game Changer. I mean, but if he doesn't, then, wish him well, because he was a really great one, and WWE really kind of missed the boat with that one. There was a lot of opportunity, but it is what it is. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is just rumor anyways, because I believe that when Lio Rush was let go, there was a lot of talk about backstage stuff. There was that stuff he had going on between him and Mark Henry. Then at the Casino Battle Royal, they both ended up tweeting that they had both talked in the back for a long time, Mark Henry and Lio Rush. So you just don't know, man. I mean, obviously, we're not insiders. We don't pretend to be, and it's all rumors, and we just don't know what's true or what's not. But it does seem like there was a lot going on there. Otherwise, the rumblings wouldn't happen. Let's see. Spinner Fox is saying Warrior Wrestling was fire in GCW too. He says broken collarbone, was it? Yeah, that sounds right. He put up an x-ray too and said, didn't he retire once before, which we just talked about? He definitely did. And he said he was doing so good. GCW, MLW, NJPW, and AEW, so much money left on the table. Jeremy says, I was pretty disappointed he decided to retire after such a disappointing showing in the Casino Battle Royal. He lasted maybe 2 minutes and he was gone. Maybe the injury had something to do with that. I think it's possible too. He could have hurt himself and just said fucking him out. Like I said, I didn't see the spot. I didn't see anybody replaying the spot. I didn't see anybody go, oh, look, this is where it happened. So I don't know if it was like right at the end or not. Maybe it happened when he fell out. Maybe that's why no one's found a clip of it. Maybe
That's what I was thinking when they got eliminated, that he might have hurt himself.
Yeah. I agree with you, though, that it does seem like I read somewhere that there hasn't been a single AEW show without injury yet.
really,
Yeah, but I don't
that's an
know.
interesting statistic.
Yeah, I don't know if
what
it's
kind of injury?
exaggerating. I don't know if it's. I'm just saying I did read it somewhere where someone said that from what they've seen, there's been some injury of some sort in every single episode.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I don't know if it's true or not. But I would say that if the conversation's there and we don't know if it's true or not, if there's no way that you just say there's just no way that's true, then there is a problem. And it should be probably addressed. I mean, even if it is more often than not, that's not good. So I do think there's something there. But let's circle back on a similar but different topic. Splinter Fox was talking about it. Warrior Wrestling happened this past weekend as well. Or was it? It happened right before Double or Nothing, actually. So I think a weekend or two ago. And I did hear it was absolutely fantastic. I saw a lot of photos from it. Something I thought was super notable out of it because right before it as well, Kylie Ray made her debut in NWA and reportedly has signed a contract with NWA. She defended her Warrior title at Warrior against Holiday and retained. She was originally scheduled, I thought, to have her last title defense against Thunder Rosa, but then that suddenly changed to Holiday, and then she won. What do you guys think? Because this is, as much as I'm happy to see Kylie Ray back, I am hesitant to get invested in Kylie Ray because she's left so many times. So it's almost like take it for what it is. Every match is a gift, but I don't know that I can invest myself emotionally, depending on. However, before I throw it to Amanda, I do think the idea of her signing with NWA is probably really smart. If she has left because of the pressures, which there's been a lot of rumor about other stuff, but ultimately the only thing that seems consistent, it's the only thing that she keeps bringing up, is her own mental health and anxieties. So if the pressures of doing Impact or AEW are the things that were getting to her, NWA films like once a month for a weekend. So maybe that's actually perfect for her. Maybe she can, show up, do a couple of days of recording, and then go back and readjust and reevaluate and, take care of herself. So it might be really smart to be part of NWA. I do think her having the Warrior title is in her hometown. I believe it's in Chicago, which makes it also easy to say maybe she doesn't have to travel to be defending that title. So could be why. Amanda, what do you think about all this? I'm just throwing out a lot of conjecture here. Apart from being just generally happy for Kylie, I've said what I've said. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's hard to invest in somebody they've come back and then they go away again. Same reason. Not to mock anything that she does, but it's hard to kind of sit there and I don't want to get attached to something, a storyline or whatever, and then she's gone again. But I do know that she was wrestling for freelance over in Chicago as well. I think she did maybe 1 or 2 dates, but with Warrior, I can see, okay, yeah, you're going back to these promotions that are kind of a comfort zone because you're at home and you're not really traveling. So, and I think with NWA, that's a really great fit there because, it's something that, I don't think it's not a pressure cooker of women, because when you get a lot of those women together, ooh, I'm pretty sure it's probably, it's not always the best place to be in, especially if you have some mental health issues. So, so I don't blame her, but I do think that, it's hard. It's great to see her, but it's is something going to happen and you're going to go away again? So That's the hard part.
She is so good. And if performing once or twice a month is really what it takes to keep her in the business and wrestling, because she's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's come out yet. We haven't said anything negative yet about her. We've only expressed concern about her leaving us again. Because whenever she comes back, we love it again. We're like, oh my God, she's back. And then she leaves and we're heartbroken. And it's like, I don't know. So she is so good that it could be absolutely smart to anchor a local promotion and the NWA women's division around someone like a Kylie Ray. Because Thunder Rosa is clearly not staying with the NWA. There's no doubt about it. She is not staying in NWA. AEW just putting up an official Thunder Rosa t-shirt. Yeah. So she's not staying. Camille is good. Yeah. She's still really new. I don't think she's even had a dozen matches ever.
No, she's maybe had less than 7.
Yeah.
I don't think she's had any more than that.
Very few. I think that anchoring an entire women's division on Camille could be shaky, but I think you have Camille and Kylie, and you bring in some of those other people like they had before. Maybe bring back Ashley Vox if she's willing to. She's been on AEW Dark. Melina could be a good voice in the locker room. You know what I mean? So I think that it could be really smart to have her there, have her anchoring those things where she can teach the women who maybe don't have the same struggles that she has when it comes to the high pressure situations, but she can help everyone get those foundations, because outside of Mission Pro Wrestling, there's not a whole lot of great indie stuff that is as focused to women's wrestling as NWA was prior to, and Mission Pro is. So if NWA can get back to being focused on a good women's division, they've already lost Allison Kay. They're going to lose Thunder Rosa. Who do you have left? You know what I mean?
Well, Serena's probably gonna hit the
Yeah,
road
Mickie
now.
James. Yeah, Serena's probably going to leave. You got Mickie James coming in, which could be good. You've got Camille, but Ashley Vox is gone. Marty Bell, I don't see her around there anymore. So it's kind of like, who do you have left? So
Natasha Steeles is gone.
we'll get there.
Yeah, a lot of them are gone. But I will say this too as well, because obviously the pandemic really kind of affected what they do. But also you'll probably see Kylie Ray doing Shimmer, because I know Prazak still runs in Chicago. So so that's always something too. But obviously since the pandemic hit, you really didn't see that. So I think definitely that's one thing. Or if she partners with Kevin Harvey and is doing Rise with them, that could be good, because they have very limited travel and they mostly are in Chicago. Every once in a while they're in like LA, or they're in New York or whatever.
Yeah. And I do think Kylie's the type of talent who, without having to change an entire business structure, she does seem worth bending over backwards a little bit for, if you can make it work. If you can fiddle some things to make it work, I think you do for a talent like her. Justin, what do you think about all this? We haven't heard word from you yet about Kylie Ray. I don't even know how much you know about her.
I mean, I've seen Kylie Ray enough. I've seen a lot of her. I've seen her Warrior Wrestling stuff. I've seen most of the indie stuff she's done. Even when she was with AEW, she's great. It's like you guys said, it's hard to get invested in her when it's like, is she going to end up just leaving again?
Is she going to break up with us again? Is she going to break up with us again?
I really like Kylie Ray. I hope that it doesn't come down to that again, because she's a great pickup for any company. And I think NWA is a great place for her, because like you said, there's not too much, like, they're not like taping a lot. So it's just like a couple shows here and there, and then you get a breather, and then it's back to taping again. And I think it'll kind of like calm her nerves a little bit, so she won't have the urge to want to walk away again.
Yeah. Do you know the scheduling for NWA, or no? It sounds like you're not sure how it works. So how it works is like what they did for the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view was on Saturday, on Sunday, I mean. On Saturday, they started a day of taping of TV segments to be for Power and Surge, and I don't know if they did another segment on there or not, but they filmed for those first. Then on Sunday they do the pay-per-view live, and then was the pay-per-view on Saturday? Am I schedule messed up? It was Saturday, wasn't it?
It's Saturday, yeah.
It was Saturday. So Friday they had tapings, Saturday they had the pay-per-view, and then Sunday and I think Monday, I think they dragged this one out to 4 days. They also had TV tapings, and so they do a long weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday at least. It sounded like, I thought they did Monday this week, this time around. Yeah. But previously it was always Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They film everything. They filmed 73 segments in there. So they have a month or two's worth of stuff to get them to the next pay-per-view. So if you were there at the tapings, they just tell you, hey, we can't stop you or make you not, but if you guys are here, you obviously love the show. You're obviously supportive. Continue to do that by not leaking out literally everything that's happening. You know what I mean? So that's how they do it. And then they're not going to film again until the next pay-per-view. And then the next pay-per-view, they're going to do the same thing, a long weekend of filming for their next month's worth of stuff. So it really is like once a month. They just need you to go out there for a weekend, and then they do all that. So yeah, that's how NWA works. Like the reserves.
The crazy thing about it, though, is I remember seeing, because there was I seen people tweeting about the NWA show, and I seen a bunch of people that were saying that when Kylie got the win on the show, the crowd was booing her. And I'm like, you see, and I was like, oh, so this is not a good sign right here, because that, I feel like, is people turning on her because of her leaving so much. And that's not a good sign, because I feel like if that happens, it's going to make her go away again.
Yeah, that's possible. It could also be because Thunder Rosa is that. I mean, she's absolutely, she's beloved in NWA. She is the NWA as far as they're concerned, and they don't want to see her go. They don't want to lose her. So if she takes any losses, they're booing, because they want whatever company Thunder Rosa is in to completely be behind Thunder Rosa. They want Thunder Rosa to be indie women's Brock Lesnar, Yeah. And I get it. I've met her. She's awesome. I've seen her wrestle. Incredible. I get it. But, there's going to be some give and take, especially like we said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still mad about the pandemic and ruining the Crockett Cup.
Yeah, me too. That's like I think it's part of the reason why I'm so sour on NWA, because I just didn't get that. I know. That was the most emotionally invested I'd been in anything in a really long time, and then I didn't get it. And now that they're giving me this other stuff that I don't care about as much at all, I'm just like, meh, forget it.
Yeah. For me, it was, man, this is the probably most legitimate time or place that Marty could have a title, where people, because at the time, obviously ROH, he's booking the stuff.
Yeah.
You don't book your own self a title. I wish AEW would think about that one. You don't book yourself into that. Hi, three EVPs and Cody, whatever you're doing. I'm sure he'll get a belt soon. But, it's just one of those things where I was looking forward to that. And not only just that, but like the first one was such an intense match, because one, they're friends. And two, I mean, it just was, it was pure artistry, I think. And, I don't know, maybe I'm weird and that's how I like my wrestling, but, I enjoyed it. And, not because I'm a squirrel girl, but just because it's, it was something that was going to be, like, I think pretty amazing.
Yeah. No.
I was also very sour when they gave Ricky Starks the TV belt, and then all of a sudden they took it off of him the next night.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
But since we've moved on from Kylie, let's run through the chat real quick.
For that,
oh, go ahead.
Is Amanda, you would probably know, is NWA and ROH still like working together?
I want to say I don't. Yes and no. I don't think as much as they were, because you don't see the bouncers back.
Yeah.
Obviously Brody King, you would think that, he'd go back, but obviously he's doing a lot with New Japan now. Same with Tyler Bateman, etc. So I think it's still on the table, but I don't think it was as prominent, or is as prominent as it was pre-pandemic.
Okay, so I was going to say, if it still is actually happening, because you were talking about outside of like Kylie Ray and Camille, who else would be in that division? Well, ROH is doing the whole women's thing. Maybe they'd send women over to NWA.
Well, ROH's women division, if you want to talk about, who's got a really pretty shitty one, ROH has dropped the ball quite a bit in the last, I'll say 5 years or so. Because at one point, they had Candice LeRae was signed, Jessica Havoc. And this is all in the same group of women. And a lot of the top tier women you see right now. And what happened? They shit the bed because they were trying to really promote Women of Honor. And, they just kind of dropped the ball with it. So, and I think they thought that their solution was to bring back the beautiful people, call them the Allure, and, and do all this other stuff that, circle everything around, what's her name? Kelly Klein, who wasn't really that good at all. So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, because that women's thing, I'm very curious who they're going to bring in, but
well, let's get to there. So let me stop you there. Like I was trying to say before we left the Kylie Ray segment, Splinter Fox did say, man, AEW would have been the move. I understand the travel would be a struggle. And I just wanted to point that out because she was signed with AEW. She was like the second woman to sign with AEW, and she left after the original Double or Nothing. So I would say that fantasy booking aside, AEW is not the right fit for every person, and she did not see it to be the right fit for whatever reason that was. So I don't know that we should be defaulting everything to this person should go to WWE or AEW. There's a lot of factors to play here, and I don't think that alone is enough just to say because I want to see her with somebody. So she made the decision that was not the move. He does say this. So what you were starting to get into, Mickie James is back. She showed up, and she said that the NWA is going to put on an all-women's pay-per-view called Empower, with all the R's. Mickie James also took to Twitter that same day that they made that announcement and said, hey, we really need some women's talent to make this happen. Please reach out. Here's my email. They don't have a plan, and they don't have the talent. So Splinter Fox does say, I'm all here for the NWA all-women's pay-per-view. I hope that if the rumor is true and get, like you guys are starting to say, Impact, ROH, AEW talent on the card is going to be amazing. And that's what I agree with and what I hope for. I hope it's a women's super show from all the different organizations. And he does say, I see Ruby going to NWA, even though I want her in AEW.
Ooh, that's a nice landing spot for her.
Yeah, I don't think I have a problem with her in either one when I think about it that way. And then Splinter Fox says, I know she was there, but the travel was not good for her mental health. That's not what she said. Don't put words in her mouth. It just was not good for her mental health. She didn't say the travel was the problem. We don't know what the problem is, what it was. That's what I mean. We all want to pretend we know what's happening backstage at all these things, and we don't. That's all I'm saying, is we don't know why she said she couldn't work there, and she was very adamant about not explaining why she wasn't there. But she said that it was bad for her mental health being there. She never said that travel was a problem because she was traveling a shit ton before then. But she's also taken breaks since before. I'm asserting that less travel could be better for someone's mental health and could be a deciding factor on why someone decides to do something. But it was not the reason she gave on why she didn't do something. But all that aside, let's start with Amanda because you were going there. Empower the what? Is Amanda gone? No, she's there. She's probably chewing.
Yeah, I was eating. I don't think you guys want to watch me shout out on wings. It was not very feminine.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'll do the burger, but I won't wings. Yeah. It's a little intimate. It was good damn garlic. Damn it. And the ranch. Anyways, no, but when I saw that Mickie James was first of all, my first reaction was, it's about fucking time you join your old man, okay? And I've always loved Mickie James, and I think that I am very excited about it. But then I thought, wait a minute. If they don't partner with all these different promotions, who are you going to get? Yeah. That's my question. And I know, obviously, I don't think Mickey's going to wrestle from the way she was speaking about it, but I mean, hell, I'd love to see her, get in the ring with some of these women. Like, I think she's
definitely wrestling. I think she's producing the show, and I think she's definitely wrestling. I think she has something to prove here. I think we're going to see the Iconics there. I think we're going to see Lana there. I think we're going to see Ruby Riott there. I think that this is absolutely in response to all of the dirt that Mickie James tried to kick up when she left and said, I said there should be an all-women show, a weekly show. Not even NWA wanted to do that. NWA said, we'll give you one pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Yeah. So everybody needs to calm down with all that stuff. But I do think that's what it is. I think it's going to be a super show, and it's going to be the indie evolution. And then I don't know if they're going to do it yearly or whatever, but I don't think we're going to see it as consistently as people are trying to pretend it's going to be.
It's not going to with Billy Corgan, that's his promotion. That's not going to happen. But at least this way, it's a good litmus test to see, what people's reaction really is to when you have a good program of women, that's not NXT, it's not AEW, it's not whatever and whatever. But when you have a good collection of women that might actually get someone a little bit more excited and maybe want to do something instead of say they want to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. Justin, what do you think about all this?
I think it's good that we're going to get it. I think Mickey is going to be able to like handle this pretty well. It's just, I don't know if it's going to be a every year thing either, because I don't know if NWA would be willing to do that, but I think they could. Definitely, if fucking Billy Corgan was down for it. But it's gonna be a good thing, hopefully. And I think if they can get access to the other women, like from like ROH and some people from Impact and maybe some AEW people, the show's gonna be great.
Yeah, I do think it'll be good.
I do.
All right, let me hit the
I
chat
think
a little
probably
bit.
they'd bring people, some female wrestlers from Stardom. I think they might. I can see that happening. You know,
I
don't
know. I don't know. I think there's every reason to believe that Mickey's just going to call in favors for her friends and just get all of her
I think
friends who
so.
lost their jobs this past year. You know what I mean? But let's see. Spinner Fox in the chat. He says, I see Ruby going. Oh, yeah, we did that one. He said, Indy Brock. That would mean Thunder Rosa would only wrestle once a month. How often do you think she wrestles now? Secondly, is that the only thing you know about Brock Lesnar? Because I could tell you there's more to the character than how often he wrestles. And I'll also say once a month is a generous number for Brock Lesnar. He wrestles way less than that. But
So once a quarter?
yeah, once a quarter. But they want Thunder Rosa to have the presence that Brock Lesnar has, where she shows up and people go, oh, shit, it's about to go down. She doesn't lose. She's unstoppable. That is the presence of Brock Lesnar. Whether he shows up once a month, once a week, once every 3 years, when Brock Lesnar music hit, everyone looks at each other and goes, oh, shit. That's the Thunder Rosa that people want across all of the companies that she floats through. You know what I mean? She does one match over AEW. She does a match over at NWA. They want every time you hear it, people to go, oh, shit. I think it'd be dope if she was like a lot more nomadic in that regard. So we'll see. We'll see what AEW lets her do when she signs there, because she's definitely half signed already. Let's see.
I'd love to see her and Mickey at the NWA pay-per-view.
That's what I want.
Yeah,
I think
that's
her
what
and Mickey would be the
everyone
move.
I think wants and is expecting.
Let's see.
We'll see.
ROH is hanging by a thread. Splinter Fox says they need to get the fans back ASAP. Yeah, I've not heard much about ROH and nothing good about them in a while, so I agree.
Let
We
me
need
tell you
fans to
about
give some life to
ROH.
it. You want to hit it?
Tell you.
All right, hit it.
Let me tell you. Yeah. Anyways, ROH kind of, I think, with the whole pandemic and the Me Too movement and cancel culture, they really kind of dropped the ball. And I think that because a lot of different things came out and they're like, oh, we're going to investigate, which they did not investigate anything. They just decided to, let's part ways with people, or, you know, whatever and whatever. They had a lot of promises that were out there that they did not keep. With talent they did that with. They did it with, you know, even with the fans, some of the buy-in that we were going to have. It's like, oh, it's going to be different. But then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, you're now reverting back to what made you suck a couple years ago. Is, you know, you have this big focus on, you know, Matt Taven or some of these people that are like, me on the West Coast, I'm like, I don't want to pay for people like that. I want marquee names. And yes, they did get a bunch of luchadors, but at the end of the day, you know, I mean, half of your roster now is people like, Ray Horace, Bandito, Flamita. Now Flamita, I think, is Evil Flamita or whatever the hell. I think that's stupid, but whatever. Yeah. And then you've got, you know, Los Ingobernable, well, whatever the hell they're calling themselves over there. And, you know, I'm like, okay, well, what else is there? Because a lot of the really good talents they're not using, like LSG and, you know, A little bit. Sometimes they use them, but but just people like that. And I'm like, hey, a lot of people who are very loyal to you, you're not really loyal back to them. And I think that that's the biggest thing with ROH, and that's a turnoff for a lot of people. Is there's some kind of loyalty that you do have, and especially with some of those guys and girls that came in from the dojo, the ROH dojo. I think that that's a huge miss. So
Who the fuck's Damon off at this point?
Yeah, no one wants to work there. No one does, because they don't like Sinclair or whatever, or it's just the management is just shitty.
Do you think it's time to call quits with ROH?
Well, the fans have.
I don't see them surviving. I actually, to be quite honest, I thought maybe Tony Khan would buy him up. Oh. Just because.
I think WWE should, just to get that tape library.
Yeah,
almost all their big talent has amazing matches in the ROH library.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they
Scotty
even
Goldman.
Yeah. Let's see. Splinter Fox does say, and we're gonna get back to you here, Justin. Splinter Fox does say, Deonna Purrazzo was at ROH. That was a ball drop. I don't see what people see in her. I'm gonna be honest. She's okay. I've never seen a Deonna match that I was like, oh, look how good she is. But whatever. She's a champion somewhere, so that makes everyone happy. I think she's right where she ought to be. Spinner Fox does tell you, Amanda, not to worry. You don't need to black out your screen when you're eating because Little Rock's not watching. You don't have to be classy. So,
well, thank you.
He's like, you're amongst friends here. And Bishop's coming through.
But
Cheers.
you never know who's watching. You
never know. Bruce Pritchard's always watching. We can tell. Mm-hmm. Cheers to Bishop coming through. TW Takes Podcast. Guys, let me throw it out there now because I don't ever tell you when I'm going to say it during the show. But there is a promo code if you go to twtakespodcast.com/TWTs for some terrible wrestling t-shirts. You can get them an additional 25% off with the promo code UNSUCKITCLUMP. Clump with a K. All one word. All the suck. So guys, go ahead and grab some of that too. It's really comfy shirts, and they come within like a couple days. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Except for if you get Teespring, they take a little longer.
Yeah, if you get the good shirts. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's the one I designed. Let's see. Jeremy does say, I think it's a definite that Mickey and Nick Aldis will be the power couple and hold both titles for NWA. I think.
Oh, God.
That it would be weird to me if that didn't happen because of how much Billy Corgan clearly loves Nick Aldis. He's the biggest Nick Aldis superfan, and it is just kind of a weird thing.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Well, no, because, the guy he's the face of their company, That's and I think he's probably been the most loyal, really, of anybody to Billy. And I think
why is that? He's been the most loyal because he's been paid the absolute most for the longest.
But money doesn't always necessarily mean that someone's loyal to you. That's not the case. No. He knows that
Nick Aldis was booted out of WWE and booted out of TNA. Mm-hmm. And Billy Corgan's like, I'll pay you what they were paying you if you be my NWA champion for as long as I need you to be. And he said, sure.
Of course.
And that's what it is.
Yeah. But it was, like I said, I definitely, I swear that it was planned that he wasn't going to be that champ. I swear.
I think there's a possibility he would have dropped it for a bit, but I think he was going to get it back. Because I think the idea is Billy. Yeah. And Billy's whole thing. Billy thinks that Nick Aldis is the NWA. He thinks it's the Nick Wrestling Alliance.
No.
Like, that's 100% what that is. The fact that they just had him hold the title for 900 days so they could say he's one of the few champions to ever hold it for more than like 800 days, I was already like, fucking get out of here. I'm not listening to that. You literally didn't wrestle for over a year because of the pandemic, and you still want to count that time. I was looking at Ric Flair posted on his Twitter. If you go check out Ric Flair's Twitter, he posted a schedule when he was the NWA champion in '83. Tell me that schedule versus Nick Aldis' schedule. He works once a month.
Yeah, if that.
So,
Aldis.
Right? That's what I mean. I'm not impressed. And he's a good wrestler. He's a solid promo. But the NWA at this point is just Nick Aldis and Billy Corgan's thing, and whatever. I'll catch highlights.
Well, in a way, it's kind of like I'm kind of glad maybe that they didn't have that show, because obviously Marsh, you in the flesh saw Nick Aldis's disdain for me.
Yeah,
but
it's true.
And if he had won, oh my God, I would have rioted.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
I wouldn't have blamed you though.
Well, I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I really wish that NWA would release those, because that interview that they did with Sean Mooney, and that was some real, like, that was personal.
That was intense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they never aired that.
Yeah.
That never got aired. I couldn't believe it. It was that was the first time I'd cried during a promo since ever. And it never even aired. No one even saw it. Justin, let's go to you. Yeah. And there wasn't even almost nobody from the tapings even stayed. They moved us all over because they couldn't even get like 5 rows filled.
Yeah.
And it was the little side rows. Like they couldn't even get 20 people in there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you guys just missed like the most impassioned thing. So it's just a shame, an absolute shame. Let's go over to Justin. Justin, I don't know if we got much out of you about the idea of Mickie James producing Empower, a WWE or an all women's pay-per-view for NWA. What do you think about all this?
No, I think she'll be able to handle it. I know this is kind of like what she wanted in WWE, like really badly, but I think NWA for her, I think her being there, they can make this work. I really do. I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't think it's going to be a yearly thing. If it's a big success, I can maybe see them debating on doing it like yearly, but I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah. I agree. Let's see. Cinderfox says, if COVID calms down this pay-per-view in August, they could get some great talent from around the world. There's so many connections. Yeah, I mean, if international travel, we've been hoping to open up. I think it's possible they call in a ton of favors and get a pretty good show up, but I think it's going to be a one-time thing, if I'm being honest. Or at least one-time huge and then second.
Pick up if they do.
Yeah, it might be a yearly thing maybe, but we'll see what happens with it. Could be really cool. Could be fun. He asked if I watch Dark. No. No one does. That's the thing. It's YouTube. I guess I'm on YouTube right now, but no one's watching this either. What's up?
Hey,
oh, Jesus.
What's up?
Middle finger.
Hey, whoa.
I'll give you
telling you you're number one.
Don't make fun of AEW Starks. That's what Dark is called. It's AEW Starks. Ask Excalibur, your favorite commentator.
Spinner Fox and Bishop going at it again. They can't help each other. Let's see. That was teased. Rosa hit up Mickie on her tweet. Yeah, but Rosa hits up everyone. But I do think that they're going to go for the thing. Oh, he's saying in ROH we have LIJ, Danhausen, Flip Gordon is stuck there.
Okay, no. Flip is trapped.
Yeah, but also that's
Flip
3 people.
Flip's trapped there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He signed a pretty big contract. And yeah.
Yikes.
Everyone knows that once it's done, we know where he's going.
Yeah. And Swinfox does say Billy told Nick if he wanted to leave during the pandemic, he would understand because he was going to lower his pay, and Nick stayed loyal to him. That was on a podcast Nick talking about it. Came from the horse's mouth. Yeah, I heard that. And what you also have to consider is that Billy did not pay anyone else besides Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis had nowhere to go. So the idea that he stayed for slightly less pay during a time when he couldn't work anywhere else anyways, because at the time there was a freeze on WWE and AEW because they didn't know what was going to happen. All he did was stay loyal to the paycheck. I'm not impressed by it, to be honest. And he had a lot of shit to say about everybody else when he was on that podcast. Nick Aldis said, Billy pays me 6 digits because I'm worth that to him. If anybody else thinks they should be getting paid, i.e. Thunder Rosa, then they need to work harder and prove it. So the fact that Thunder Rosa was not on the same salary that Nick Aldis was a fucking point of pride for him. So yeah, I wasn't impressed by Nick saying, oh yeah, I took a little pay tweak, because it's back up to where it was when he started, man. You just stayed loyal to the paycheck. He didn't want to not get paid during the pandemic. Can't knock him, but can't say I'm impressed either.
Yeah, I'm kind of over Nick Aldis with the championship reign right now.
Yeah, I'm tired of it. You know what I was thinking? Does anybody know how many days that Zack Ryder has been the internet champion? Because I feel like that's just as viable of a championship as the NWA title at this point.
There's got to be at least what, in the maybe 3,000s.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, he's been there a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy thing is that the NWA World's title to me was always the title that, even when it went away, it still meant more than most titles. And now it's now it's back to its fucking like irrelevant stage, and it's really shitty.
Have you, Justin and Marsh, have you guys seen the 7 Levels of Hate that Adam Pearce and Colt Cabana did about the with the NWA title?
No.
Okay, it's phenomenal. I think Pierce put it on YouTube now.
Oh, YouTube.
But what's really great is there's a whole backstory. I think Marquez has a lot to say in it too, because obviously he, hosted some of the matches. But it's really interesting about the politics and kind of the shade with it. So now it always makes me wonder with Billy Corgan and like with all this, it's like, is this just a political thing, or what are you doing? So
yeah, no, I agree.
And how the two of them walked away with, they put the belt down and walked away from it.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I got to see that.
Yeah, it's a real cool documentary.
Yeah, I gotta check that out now.
Yeah, but Splinter Fox brings up a good point. Take Joe to NWA and have him take the title. I'd be reinvested immediately if Joe was the NWA champion.
No,
please do it.
But we'll see.
I know.
And Bishop speculates that Zack Ryder's held the Internet Championship for 9 days. 9 days champion. 9 days.
Then you gotta tell him. You gotta tell him to prove you wrong.
Prove me wrong.
Damn it, Bishop! You're not supposed to do that.
But anything else you guys want to talk about? Any of that stuff, or you guys want to move forward? I liked that conversation. I like when you get in the weeds about any stuff.
Shingo Takagi is now the NJPW the champ over there.
Hallelujah! That match was phenomenal.
Yeah. Now,
and that was one that not a lot of people were guessing. To be honest, when I saw people saying, "What are they going to do?" That was not a heavily speculated one. I think Clump might have said it
on episode 1.
There you
go. It was you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you said it.
You said
but
it.
Yeah, it wasn't a ton of people saying it, so I like that.
I thought about you, Justin, when I saw him win. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember in episode 1.
Yeah,
you called.
I was so happy.
Also for Bishop, I'm gonna have some Elijah Craig right now because he's in the chat. So cheers to Bishop. All right, you guys talk about that because all I saw was some pictures. So Justin, talk about Shingo winning the title and then pitch it to Amanda.
It was fucking phenomenal. Shingo and Amanda knows I fucking wanted Shingo to win it because it's no diss to Okada. I fucking think Okada's amazing, but I want to see some new people holding the championship. That's why when Ospreay won the title, I was like, cool, we're getting some new faces holding the IWGP title. And now Shingo's got it, and I hope he fucking goes all the way with it. To the moon, if you want.
To the moon!
See?
What do you think, Amanda?
Well, it's actually a pleasant surprise to see Shingo with it, especially because he's had some really last year and even parts of the beginning of this year. He's had some incredible matches, like some of his matches with Jeff Cobb. Holy shit. I mean, those were, wow. I mean, just amazing. And so I think that it's nice that they're looking towards other people, which is great. Because there's about like maybe 4 people I think that really should be kind of in that picture. And, obviously Shingo's one of them. Another one I think is Sonata. I mean, I've been saying for a long time that I think that Sonata, they're trying to groom to be like the next Okada. And I can see that with that happening. And I also think that if you're going to put the belt on another Gaijin again, I think they'll do it to Jeff Cobb. There's no way that I don't think that they wouldn't do that. But I think that might be a high possibility. And that'd be kind of cool. And then I think the last person, if anybody, I think who probably will get that belt again, and I kind of see that, you know, there's a lot of things that go with it. I think that you're going to get Suzuki getting it. And the only reason why is because, you know, I mean, Murder Grandpa can go on forever, but let's face it, is he going to? And it would be nice to see him in dominance, even if it's just for a couple of months. It'd be really cool to see a program like that. So
Suzuki wins the title at all, I'm going to be so freaking happy. I would just love to see him and Shingo again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Amazing. Amazing. And then also for you Shingo fans, Bola, he was, I think he wrestled Ilya Dragunov, I think. Or they tagged together. Yeah, you got to watch it. Bola, the last Bola that would happen, which was, what, 2019. Check it out.
Dragunov and Takagi.
Yeah, just think about that one. Think about that one. It was like, whoa.
I'm loving the thought of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was amazing. Like that Bola in particular. I mean, damn, you get Bronson Reed on there. You get Dragunov. You get Walter. You got Toothless Tim. I thought that was hilarious on NXT when they said that. I fell off the bed. Okay, I was laying on my stomach and I rolled off the bed because I was laughing so hard. I'm like, that's the best. I need a shirt now. But it's a good one to watch.
Yeah, awesome. Let's see in the chat a little bit. Sprinter Fox says, "We all know." Oh wait, hold on. Where you go? Dragon says, "How many years does Flip have on his contract?" I don't think anybody does know, but probably 1 or 2, I think.
Flip had when he signed.
I thought he signed like a 3-year.
When he re-signed in 2019, it was 3.
Yeah. So it's got like another year or so. Let's see. He says, we all know what's going to happen. Ospreay's going to come back and take the title back. He goes, or it's going to go to somebody like Jay White. Let's see. He says, poor Cinda. They keep teasing him and never pull the trigger. What do you guys want to say about that?
Wait, what?
Cinda? That's what he said. I don't know if it's misspelled. Is it supposed to be something else?
Sonata?
Oh, it could be Sonata. Could have been an auto correct.
What does the little Lion King have to do with it?
Could have been an auto correct. Sonata probably.
It could be. It could be.
What's in your glass, Splinter Fox?
Yeah, exactly.
What's in your glass? How's that lemonade treating you?
Yeah, it's not diet. Don't mix it with water. Okay, but no, I think there was a tease that we kind of saw when Evil left LIJ. And I think that I personally thought that if anyone's going to leave LIJ first, it would be Sonata, because he's kind of the one who's like in the background. He's kind of ignored a little. And then there was some tension. When was it? New Japan Cup, I think 2 years ago, maybe, where he wasn't doing the little fist thing with Naito and everybody. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh shit, it's happening. It's happening. I'm telling you people it's happening. And then it didn't happen and it was Evil. And I'm like, what the fuck? It totally got me, New Japan. But it could happen. It could happen. But I thought it was going to happen a lot sooner than it's going right now. So.
I mean, Evil's turn still surprised the hell out of me. I never expected that. When they threw up the fists, he threw up the too sweet on it. I went.
Yeah, I was like.
I went, no.
That was me. I can't watch that, at night, like live, because I wake up in the neighborhood when things
it's
like
so
that
weird
happen.
because Evil and Sonata together are so great, and it's so weird to see them apart now.
I know, it's creepy. And then when watching them wrestle each other, it's like, oh,
it's still great though.
It's great, but my heart hurts. So, yeah.
Sonata's closest to me when he was world title to me was the G1 when he had that almost time limit draw with Okada, and that was my convincing that 59 minutes and 37 seconds of a 60-minute match. That was unbelievable. And I was like, that right there was, you should have pulled it on Sonata.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was another time I thought they were going to do that too, but
Jeremy does say in the chat he thinks NJPW needs to get the U.S. title off of Moxley. He's just sitting there doing nothing on Moxley. Yes. Yeah, I agree entirely.
Yeah, it's done its thing. You know, if you want to put the U.S. title, put someone who's in the New Japan USA, let one of those guys have it.
Yeah, I was going to say I actually would rather the reverse. I think Moxley should leave AEW and go to NJPW full time. His presentation in NJPW is just better. And
it's
more
better. Yeah,
honest.
the Death Rider, yeah.
Death Rider is just better. It's more true to what he seems to be doing most of the time. He feels more free to do stuff over there. I feel like he still gets wrapped up in goofy shit over at AEW, which is probably goofy shit he wants to do. But I feel like in NJPW, he's serious, legit. I feel like even his style is more gritty in NJPW.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him just full-time NJPW. I'd watch a lot more Moxley if he was. But that's just me.
Yeah, and they don't... New Japan, well, except for Ocean Spray, they... yeah. If you hear people calling it came from me. Not from episode 1, but it came from me. Because my phone doesn't like him either. So, I mean, you know, they kind of really like threw him down your throat. But I think with other people, they don't do that really with. They kind of maybe did it with Kenny a little bit toward the end. But I think it was more because they really wanted him to stay. They didn't want him to go. That's true. But it's what it is.
Yeah. Justin, anything on that? You guys want to move forward?
I'm just gonna throw it out there quick and just say, yeah, I think it's time to get it off Mox. It's they're not even talking about it anymore on Dynamite. So what's the fucking point of him still holding on to it?
Yeah, they only do it to pop a rating from time to time. You know what I mean? Like his match with Yuji Nagata was fine. It was nice in the idea that I didn't watch the whole thing because I couldn't even get to it before it was just. I forget what happened on that pay-per-view, or not pay-per-view, but just that Dynamite. Something happened with the Young Bucks that made me so upset. I just, fuck it, I'm not watching this.
But was that the Shawn Michaels incident?
I think that's what it was. Yeah, they did the Shawn Michaels thing, and I was just like, I'm not watching this show anymore, and turned it off. But at the end of the day, it was like a nice thing for Mox and Yuji, but I don't think anybody was like, hey, this is a big deal. Like, it was cool. From the fan perspective of being fans of wrestlers who get to do what they want to do and knowing that Moxley wanted to do that. But from a wrestling storyline perspective or a wrestling perspective, it was okay. There wasn't a ton of story. There wasn't the greatest match of all time by any means. It was just nice to see some people who wrestle together who wanted to wrestle together. And that's just kind of an unfortunate spot for a champion to be in, where they're not having stuff that's actually making waves or making... You know what I mean? And for a title to be there in that position where it's all like, oh, here's that title we used to have out in NJPW all the time, and now it's in a bag in a locker room most of the time, except for like twice a year when they pull it out to say like, look at, I'm a champion, sort of. So, yeah. I don't know. I like
waiting for the day they're making Eddie carry it and drag it behind Mox. I'm waiting for that day.
Yeah.
Then
Spinner Fox says, no, go ahead.
Too much.
Spinner Fox says Mox just wants to be everywhere. GCW, he will take on MDK. I honestly think that he'd be better off just not being a part of the AEW part. I think he did what he's going to do for AEW. I think he should disappear for a bit. Go do the GCW stuff, the NJPW stuff, really get gritty out there. I don't feel like he's trying to do a lot in AEW. I feel like he's biding his time. I feel like he's running out that contract. And I think that once he does, I don't think he should sign with AEW or WWE. I think he should do, like you said, be everywhere he wants to be. He's allowed to pop up at these places. I want him to have the ultimate freedom of, he did what he was going to do. He was world champion of AEW. What's he going to do now? Get it again? A second time? Is it going to mean anything? I think he wanted to be the guy to get it when he got it. And I think that he shouldn't re-sign with AEW. He should run off and do NJPW, do GCW, do the spring break stuff. Do crazy weird shit. Become this big anomaly on the indies where it's holy shit, where is Mox going to show up and who's he going to go with? I think that'd be incredible.
Yeah. I'd like to see him do the carrot at WCW in Germany. That'd be
the fuck's a carrot?
The fuck?
The carrot? Oh my God, it's this huge tournament.
Oh.
It's a singles tournament, 16 men, I think it is. And basically it's a very grueling tournament. That I know Zack Sabre Jr. won it a couple of years ago. Walters won it. But I know he's never done that. So I think that would be something because of his style that might work really well. But yeah, if you look on YouTube, you can see a lot of the WXW stuff. And I think, isn't there stuff on Peacock too? Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Oh,
Could be.
no, because I thought WWE.
Oh, WXW. Yeah. There's some of it there.
Okay, yeah, you might see some of the character there, but definitely on YouTube you'll find some really cool nuggets. And they had a couple of really good tag tournaments too. A couple of years ago, I think it was 3 years ago or so, they had a really great international tag team like tournament. So it's a yearly tournament that they do. They do it at the Overhausen, I think it is. I don't know. But it's a good thing to kind of watch. I see him doing that. I see, for some reason, I don't know, if like we get Ebola again, I have a feeling that Mox is going to be Ebola. I don't want that, because then it's going to be really hard to get a ticket. But I think that's something that it's on his list of, these are things I want, and he'll probably get it. So, but we'll see.
Could be. Spinner Fox says he won't watch this night WWE. You're right. No, she wasn't telling me to watch it. She was telling you guys to watch it.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. You guys ready to move on? Talk about some other stuff?
Yes.
Let's talk AEW. That's primarily you guys. What we did not talk about last time, which we should talk about this time, is Mark Henry made his debut, signing with AEW. He said he's here to twist the screws, whatever that means. Spin them, twirl them. Says AEW's not broken. Then he was immediately shooed away and told to shut the fuck up, and he did. And Andrade came out. Well, Vicky Guerrero came out, yelled a whole bunch, mispronounced Andrade's name. He comes out and says, I'm the face of AEW, and leaves. A lot of question marks from me, but you guys are the ones who watched it. What do you think, Amanda? Then we'll go to Justin about Mark Henry and Andrade both signing with AEW.
Mark Henry is kind of to me, is kind of a surprise, to be honest. But it kind of makes sense, because when you look at like Paul White, that, he's doing a lot of things that he didn't get to do before, and he's really excelling in it, and he's enjoying himself. So I think that maybe, that might have been some of the allure for Mark Henry, and it's going to be nice to see. And I think they said that he's going to be yet another show. He is going to be one of the commentary guys on that, just like how Paul White's doing Elevation. So, but this one's on TV. So, March, you might have to give it a try.
That's good.
It's not internet,
that's good.
Whatever. But Andrade, I am not surprised with that one at all. To be quite honest, that wasn't shocking. Because everyone's like, where's it gonna go? I mean, I'm sure ROH tried to, lure him with money because of what they have over there. But it's like, dude, you're not like, the American version of AAA, So, yeah, I think that's a big part of that. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do, and especially if they, I don't know if what they're gonna do. Is Tony gonna drop the bomb? Did he open his checkbook really wide? What's going to happen? But then again, now that all these other people got released too, now he's going to have a field day. But he's insisting that he's signing a lot of these people that were on, the internet wrestling. But I don't know. That remains to be seen.
Bishop's in the chat. He says that Mark Henry said he's going to be he's going to be doing a lot more stuff backstage. He said he was on Oral Sessions podcast, which I tried to listen to that podcast a couple times, but it wasn't as what I was hoping it was going to be, so I just don't listen to it. But he said that Mark Henry was on, and he said he was going to do everything that Bishop mentioned on his last week, that he was going to do, like brand ambassador type stuff. And he says that so he's going to make talent watch matches and tell the Young Bucks to make sure nobody super kicks before their match, basically force psychology, which is also funny because this just in, he's not the first legend to go there and say they were going to do that. So we'll see what happens. There's a reason there's a number of legends who were there who don't seem to be on screen like they used to be, or who you haven't heard, who were very vocal about how happy and excited they were to sign there and have been less than vocal since they've got there. From what I've heard on other podcasts and such, from people in the business, not just fan podcasts, that a lot of people go there with the hopes of like getting stuff across, and are constantly being told that these old folks don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they're going to do whatever they want to do anyway. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. Justin, what do you think about Andrade and Mark Henry signing?
Mark Henry, I was so skeptic about it first because all I thought was, oh, great, another former WWE guy. You know, we're not going to fill our roster with ex-WWE guys, but, you know, but
Hey, we're filling a roster.
If he's not going to be like a main like part of like wrestling, if he's going to do like backstage stuff and he's going to be like an ambassador for the company and stuff like that, fine, go ahead. But Andrade, again, it was really obvious he was going to end up there, and the debut was fucking flat to me. So many people kind of just looked at it like, what the fuck? Who's this again? Like, but
it was a weird way to intro him, but you know, he's there now, which is cool.
Andrade to me I've seen this, and I told my brother, me and my brother had a whole discussion about this because I told him this, and he freaking was like, what the fuck? So there was this shit going around that Andrade apparently in WWE wanted full creative control and the option to veto his losses.
What?
Yes.
How did I do that?
When the hell does Andrade think that he's that high of a fucking superstar to get those odds, like, at all?
Yo, Bret Hart made sure that would never happen again.
Like, that was just, like, when I seen that, that's bull. That is fucking bull. Andrade he may be a great talent, but he's not that fucking big of a name to get the freaking rights to be able to have creative control and veto his losses. Like, no.
The veto the losses one was the one that was absolutely wild to me, because I was like, I could see every single wrestler trying to say they want more creative control. That makes sense for them to try to negotiate some level of creative control. Just say, I'm going to be the final say on if I lose or not. Get the fuck out, Hogan. Guess what? There are no Hogans anymore. Not like that. And I'll tell you, Bret Hart, the whole Montreal screw job, I don't know if you guys have heard of that or not. That only happened because Bret had the ability. His final days, it was it 60 days or 90 days? I believe it was a 60-day window of his final 60 days. Yeah. He had creative control on how he exited the company. And he was trying to flex that for all the other reasons. There's a whole lot more to that story, right? But the basis of what we're talking about here about the contract part, because I'm an expert in contracts because I don't understand contracts. He had the 60-day clause that allowed him to have creative control on how he left the company. He was flexing that. Bada bing, bada boom. We ended up where we got. The idea that anyone's going to say, I'm going to veto my losses, no. Like, that's like a non-negotiable. I don't know how you even walk in. Like, for one, ballsy. That's cool. But you're going to walk into a fucking meeting with talent relations or Vince McMahon's office and say, I'm not re-signing unless I can say yes or no to all the losses that are put in front of me. I feel like that's a really easy, okay, well, then you're not going to work here. Like, I don't feel like that's even partially a conversation. But apparently, he negotiated some of that with Tony, because even Tony said no to that. Mm-hmm. But something along the lines of Tony giving him, like, input
some
on
kind
it.
Of creative control, as far as
he's got creative control, and then there was something along the lines of him being able to, like, veto. I don't think he could veto losses, but he was part of the like. There was something about it, like he could veto the pay-per-view ones, but not the weekly ones, or vice versa, or something like that. Like, it was a weird thing, and I was all like, "That is not how you run." If you have a vision, that's not how you do it. If you don't have a vision, then yeah, I guess fuck it. I don't care what happens. You know what I mean? Just wild.
Reminds me of Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee. Wherever he wrestles at, is he? If you're gonna job for whoever, he picks and chooses who it's gonna be, or
what?
Yeah, you never know. He's notorious. Here's a great story. So our promotion here in San Francisco was brought back the King of the Indies because they were doing that years and years ago when Roland Alexander was still alive from Beyond Mat fame. So they did a tournament, and in this tournament we had Taguchi was in it because New Japan was going to be running I think the next day or the week after or something. So he was in it. We had Dragon Lee, we had Jungle Boy, we had Jake Atlas, and I can't remember who else was in that one in particular, but those are the ones that I definitely remember. So with Jake Atlas and Dragon Lee were at the finals because we got a really great Jake Atlas Jungle Boy match. I mean, those guys always worked magic, and it was just wonderful. But it was very interesting that Jake didn't win, and like San Francisco is like his second home. I mean, I started watching Jake when when he just started wrestling, because he would actually travel up, to get get his chops in, or whatever they call it. So I swear, like, there was a lot of people who booed, because I was like, how the fuck is Dragon Lee gonna win this shit? And then the next year he came again and he won it again because he didn't want to job to people. And the only reason why I know that is just because that was the big thing. And then someone had told me that, yeah, that's who he is. He commands like who he can, who he will job for. And, he won't really job for anybody. I mean, he no-sold on that shit. When you watch Dragon Lee, he no-sells a lot. And it's just interesting to me because I think when he won the ROH, it was like his second appearance on ROH. And for whatever reason, he got the title. Then I don't know why. And it was weird because he was basically just walking all over everybody. So I don't know, but it is very true.
I feel like if I was running a thing,
Bola, I mean, you've seen it at PWG. I've seen it so many times with him and even in New Japan when they did the Super J Cup, he, I was shocked that he jobbed to ELP. I was shocked.
Yeah, I just feel like that stuff's so wild. If I have a vision and if I'm a booker or promoter and I have the foresight of the long-term booking that everyone says that Tony has, then I don't let a talent come in and say that you can change that at your whim. Let's see. Bishop's in the chat. He says, I said in episode 1, if Mark Henry can't get them to use psychology, we will all hear about how difficult they are. If he can make it work, AEW will be better. I think that's also, I don't know now. I would say yes a year ago, but this past few months or so on Busted Open, they've been really overly nice and overly aggressive towards WWE, but overly nice about AEW. I don't know that he's got it in him anymore to talk this shit unless he's off contract. So we'll see. Let's see. He says, it's funny, the talent leave and we hear that story that Charlotte was forced off Mania because of Andrade, but it takes Pritchard 30 years to tell the WWE side of the negotiations. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's weird about that. I mean, people who are sour are going to go out there and say what they want to say right away, but the people who are doing their business, they'll get to it when it's less relevant. Why wasn't it put on there that Andrade had those demands, and that's why WWE didn't keep them, not Charlotte stood up to Vince? Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because that was out there that,
Yeah.
Remember, that was the story that they were putting out there. Charlotte stood up to Vince and said, if you re-sign him and all this stuff, and they said, well, then we're going to sit you out or whatever. Yeah, that's true. But then Andrade goes out there and goes, oh yeah, no, I was trying to get full creative control and absolute booking power of my own destiny, and be like, oh, well then yeah, you're hard to work with, so that makes sense.
They didn't even give that to John Cena. So
no,
who the
they
fuck
didn't give
are
that
you?
to John Cena. Yeah. And they gave it to Brett the one time, and then it went terribly wrong, and they're like, okay, well, never mind. And they also gave it to Brett because it was a 20-year contract, and they thought, you know what? It's gonna be down the line. It's not gonna be as important in that time.
Yeah.
So
They could have
just
done
happened
it
to
to
do what it
CM Punk. And to be quite honest, it probably would have made the product a little bit better. But,
I don't know. I think CM Punk's an idiot. But all right, so outside of that stuff, Andrade's there. I would like to see, theoretically, I think could be cool, Andrade and Aleister Black as a tag team with Zelina as a manager. I know there's rumors that Aleister Black was cut inadvertently or too early and he'll be back. I have no idea about any of that shit. None of that makes sense. I'm not hearing from anybody I think is credible. But they to me, if I'm fantasy booking some stuff, I think Aleister Black, Zelina, and Andrade can make a hell of a faction.
yeah,
Oh, hell yeah.
that'd be wonderful.
Amanda and Justin, is you guys want to talk about some highlights before we get into NXT? Any AEW
Yeah, well,
highlights?
something interesting did happen. Speaking of all these
Go ahead.
WWE releases. So Miro cut this promo. I don't know if a lot of people caught it, but I sure did. Where he said something like, he was like saying, or like shout out to his beautiful wife.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Yeah. So I would not be surprised if we see Lana sometime in the near future.
For sure.
Yeah.
She don't even
I
have
thought
to
that immediately
wrestle.
when she
Just
left.
be
I
in
was like,
his
oh, we're going
corner
to see
again.
her. Go ahead, Justin. What was that?
I said you don't even have to wrestle. Just be
No.
in his corner like you used to again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be honest, Lana in her last couple of matches
Yeah, she was getting good.
was getting good. She was better than most of the AEW women's roster right now. I'm not gonna say all because there's a chunk of them that are good, but the majority of the women's wrestling I've seen over there not as good as Lana's been. Red
Depends on who
Velvet
you're
is
talking
not
about.
as good as Lana right now. I'm gonna be honest.
No. Because the good ones that they show are on the internet wrestling.
Yes.
And I can't tell
The
you the
good
last
ones are
time
on
I saw
there.
Big Swole on Dynamite. She's awesome.
Well, I guess I'll leave that
She
there.
was
'Cause
this recent episode actually.
No.
Hmm.
But that's because she was with what, Kylan King?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Red Velvet.
Yeah.
Well,
What's with
I think to me what seems obvious that they'll do is Miro and Lana will go up against Kip and Penelope,
Mm-hmm.
like a little mixed tag thing. Maybe get some intergender wrestling in there. Could be cool. Could be interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I talked about it before. I think the smartest thing that Miro did, which seems weird in hindsight, all that horrible shit he did when he came in, really separated him from the elite. And I don't mean like the elite class. I mean like literally the elite faction. Everything he did, all the stupid wedding shit, all the stupid best man stuff, really put him far and away from anybody in the elite. The Young Bucks, Paige, and Kenny. And those are clearly the darlings of Tony Khan. It gave him room to grow in a crazy way. You know what I mean? As much as all that other shit was stupid, that was like a fast track to the TNT title in a believable fashion. And now he can float around as a champion there and not have to interact with the elite at all because, what's happening with them. So, I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting, really cool. But I'll let you guys continue. Justin, anything you wanted to say about about the Lana stuff? Oh, what you did. You just think she should manage, which I think should be fine either way. I really do. Any other highlights from AEW, Amanda or Justin?
Honestly, let's be real. I don't know what it is, but I can feel you on not wanting to watch lately because some of it is just like, what the hell are you doing? And and obviously for me, I'm like, I hate what they're doing with Eddie Kingston because I'm like, you're so much better than that, and that frustrates me. And I'm a little frustrated with, I really don't care about Don Callis and all this crap with the Good Brothers and whatever, because you didn't give us anything that we thought we were going to get. Tony, what happened to this Forbidden Door? Obviously, you did not kick it down or even open it a tiny crack because what's going on? All we got out of you is like stupid promos, and now you're like really like obnoxious,
He cut a promo on Nick Khan, so that was good.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know. I mean, even like for me, like the Team Taz stuff is kind of exciting, but at the same time, it's like just do it. You guys were gonna do this a while ago. Just do it. Do it and get it over with. Because what's the next one? The next one's All Out. I hope they don't do it there because I want to go. But if they do, bad because I can't go. But I think that's been a long time coming, and that needs to get resolved. His son also needs to be in the ring too, because I think he's better than some of the other people who are on TV. Luchasaurus. Thank you. Sorry. Ooh, excuse me.
It's chicken wings. It's that parm.
Is that garlic?
It makes you choke.
Yeah. Right in the throat. But yeah, no, I think that I do think that the internet options that we do have are quite better than what's on the normal program.
Hopefully we see a shift with that new show coming out. AEW Thunder, I think it's called. Jeremy says in the chat, no, it's not. He says the only thing that came from the Forbidden Door was AEW taking Impact's world title away from them and taking Don Callis and Anderson Gallows away. Yeah, I mean, it was weird. But, Justin, any highlights from AEW you want to throw out there?
Gallows and Anderson being on the show is just kind of pointless anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even know they're not even doing any fucking thing. They just come out, Gallows with his stupid fucking earrings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fuck off with
They're
this
making
nonsense.
that money.
Like this whole the whole Dynamite was it felt like a throwaway show. It wasn't really nothing like that was anything like of importance. Like the only thing I got so far, like even did you see the announcement from Impact?
No.
So Moose won the number one contendership match.
Okay.
And it's
That's
supposed
cool.
to be facing
He's good.
Kenny. It's supposed to be facing Kenny, and apparently Tony Khan is convinced them that they're going to have it on Dynamite now.
Oh, that sucks.
Yes, that's what I said too. The winner apparently is going to face Sami Callihan next. Go Sammy. That's all I got to fucking say. Yeah.
Wait, what? The winner of Kenny and Moose?
Kenny and Moose is moved from Against All Odds to it's going to be on a Dynamite, and the winner of Kenny and Moose faces Sami Callihan down the road.
So Sami Callihan's the number 2 contender, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty much, because Sammy's been getting involved with Moose and Kenny lately, and now they're just like, okay, we're gonna keep him in contention.
Okay. Well,
I was like, okay.
What do you think about all that, Amanda? What do you think?
I'm muted.
What do you think about?
I don't know how I did that. It's the alcohol.
Okay.
Anyway. I don't see Moose beating Kenny Omega. Come on now. I like Moose, but no. Moose, no. So that's why I want to see Sami Callihan and Kenny, because let me tell you, that would be amazing to see Sami just fucking beat the shit out of Kenny.
Have those two ever gone at it before?
I hope
not that I know of.
I hope he brings back that bat.
I know I've gotten injured because of Sami Callihan on the Jericho cruise. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Marty. Short fucks. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm short too, so it's okay. I'm getting a short on short crime.
But I hope Sammy brings back that bat.
He always has the bat with him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I want him to do the chair angle again.
Oh,
now he's got his hacker gimmick though. He doesn't have his back.
He'll get something. He'll have something up his sleeve. He's a little tricky guy, that guy. But I really want to see that, because I think with Rich Swann, it was kind of flat.
You know, it would be awesome.
And I love Rich Swann, but yeah. But what I really would like to see, and I think everyone else is in agreement, is they want to see some of those women on Impact wrestle with some of the AEW women.
Here's what I want. I'm gonna tell you right now. Moose loses to Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy and Kenny have that pay-per-view match. Kenny pulls out the win. Says he's the best. No one can beat me. Not on Impact.
Okay.
Boom. Diamond on the screen. Tessa Blanchard walks out, points a bat at Kenny. Tessa brings the heavyweight championship back to Impact.
How fucking bizarre and full circle that would be.
It'd be insane.
Holy
I
shit.
fucking love it. That's how I write wrestling.
There you go.
Give me the
That's
pencil,
damn
Bruce.
good, though.
Does Bruce have the pencil for Impact too? Bruce, let me see that pencil.
You heard it here first on episode
You
1.
heard it here first.
Yeah,
Can you
man.
imagine?
Marsh
Remember
has
she had
already-
that. Remember when she
Marsh
beat
has
Sammy? She
already
had
got
that
stuff.
gold bat. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
When she beat Sammy Callahan, she had the gold one. She should hold the gold one out and point it at him, just like Sting does. Fucking like hit the ground. Fucking let the
Can we give her
fucking credits
diamonds
roll.
or like cubic zirconia raining from the sky, like how Sting gets snow?
Snow. But it all just falls so fast because they're heavy. So it's just like,
Like,
just
Jesus,
a real quick.
Somebody's gonna get fucking seriously injured.
so funny.
or they be
Cuts her.
fake, like whatever. I don't know. I mean, because like when you look at like when people drop money, like Okada, the Okada bucks, some of that
$5,
shit takes forever to fall to the ground, and it's like, okay, the match has started and there's still money floating down. It's like, come on,
That's true. That's
shorter
funny.
distance, please.
Bishop
shorter
says in the
distance.
chat, he says, he goes, Marsh, I think you said in episode 1, I believe I remember in episode 1, he says that the major players at AEW are there to, quote, pop the boys, not for the fans or to raise talent, a la the Good Brothers in AEW, which the Good Brothers are the absolute definition of popping the boys. There is nothing they're doing but trying to make the locker room laugh above all else. He goes, and then Impact can, that Jeremy says, and then Impact can have this same segment with Tessa for 5 weeks straight like the Sting on AEW. I mean,
Oh dear God.
then you got to get like a baby Tessa out there for her to start coaching. And,
Oh God, no! God, no! Oh, and the one match I know everyone wants to see, I have no interest in it, and please don't do that to my Korean sister from another mister. Is I do not want to see Abaddon versus Su Young.
I don't want to see that. Well,
Lame. I love Su.
it's not fair to me to say I wouldn't want to see it because
No,
I haven't watched them. Yeah, it's
No,
for you to
Abaddon's
say. You're a
horrible.
bigger fan than me.
she's horrible, but I love Su.
Yeah,
And if
Su
she can
Yung-
wrestle Havoc and Havoc can beat the shit out of her, that would be great.
Jimmy Havoc?
No, Havoc. Jessica Havoc.
Jessica Havoc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sammy's old lady. I wouldn't
Wait,
fuck with
what?
those two. You didn't know that?
No, I
Oh,
didn't know that.
No, they've been
Oh, man.
dating for years. They were an on and off again couple,
cool.
but they've been back together now for quite a few years now. And
That's
at
awesome,
the
actually.
time, little trivia for y'all is back in Dayton, they were, he had with some of the guys he had kind of trained, MSK and some other people. They all lived in this big house. It was the Dayton Boys compound, and it was really, really cool. And they would like go on, play, video games and whatever they still do, and whatnot. But yeah, no, she and him got back together because I knew they were together a couple before, and they had broken up, and they'd gotten back together. But
Awesome.
yeah,
Actually.
yeah, they're a good couple. I like them a lot, the two of them.
Anything else in AEW you guys want to talk about?
Well, excuse me, internet wrestling. We saw someone debut this week against Lance Archer. We saw our friend Zicky Dice. Well, not my friend, not my friend, but
Yeah, friend of the show.
really,
No.
not my friend. No.
He's almost never responded to us in any way. He's the one who ruined my poster. I could post a picture of it. He signed when I was getting everybody I could to sign the Hard Times poster. Anybody who was in the Hard Times pay-per-view when I was there, he grabbed a paint pen, opened it up, shook it really hard, pressed down, and it just like just fucking fucked up my poster.
He's an
And then
asshole.
he took the money I gave him, because I gave him like a $20 bill. He took the money I gave him and started wiping it in the ink, trying to get it to soak it up, thinking that somehow money was a paper towel, and it was just fucking weird. It was awesome. I mean, it was funny. It was funny.
That's
He was
not
freaking
funny.
out. He felt awful. He didn't cover anyone else's signature, so it's not like he ruined other people's stuff, but his signature looks like an absolute fucking mess.
Well, that's what he is. He's an absolute fucking mess.
Oh, it's
I mean,
outrageous.
the guy actually can't, you can't take criticism very well. And you let a girl, I'll say girl, but actually I'm a woman, but you let a girl basically school you on the internet. And then you ran to a mutual friend and you're like, she's mean. And he's like, no, she speaks the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to see him on AEW. And I was actually quite, not because I don't like him. I just, his gimmick, I still don't get. It's like kind of like Joey Ryan's crude older brother.
Yeah.
Or maybe younger brother. I don't know. It just doesn't work. He tried to do his little thing with the deck of cards with Lance Archer. I'm like, no, please don't do this stupid magic trick thing again. I thought you got rid of that. But no, he did that. And I really hope that, I really, really hope that he doesn't sign. Only because of the fact that he's not that good. He looked like he was already blown out like 2 minutes in. And I'm like, yeah, that's not a... No. And if Tony signs him, Tony's stupid. But a lot of people agree with me. So. A waste of money.
We'll see. He definitely hasn't gotten in better shape. Let's see. Jeremy does say, did you see the petition that the hardcore AEW fan base made to get NWA games off of TNT so that AEW can, quote, get their viewers back? I did see the petition. I don't know if you guys saw it. Last I checked, the petition had been up since May and only had one signature. And I think it was the guy who made it.
It's
the
like
other
up to
thing
like
I saw,
20. That's about it.
is it up to 20?
Yeah, that's
the
it.
other thing about it, what's the goal? Isn't it like 1,000?
I think it's only 100.
It's 100, right? Yeah. The goal is 100. And they're having a hard time get to 100 people to sign it to begin with. Secondly, do you think a petition with 100 signatures gets anything done? You can't get the cafeteria food to change at your middle school with 100 signatures.
No.
So I think that at the end of the day, it's at best a really good joke, and at worst, just almost hyperbole of the hardcore AEW fan base thinking there's more power there than there needs to be. The other thing is AEW is leaving TNT. I will say, as much as I don't watch AEW and as much as Splinter Fox gets mad that we even talk about AEW, I barely even say stuff on it most of the time. But because I let you guys talk about it. You're the one to watch it.
Yeah.
But I will say that I was really surprised at how low their viewership was on those Fridays. I thought they had a lot more hardcore viewers who were just going to watch them every time they're on.
Nope.
And I'll tell you, I will give them every benefit of the doubt. It's a Friday night. It's late at night. Cities are opening up. There's games going on. It was after SmackDown was already over. There is everything against them to get viewers. So the fact they got viewers at all is great. But it was a lot less than I anticipated. I was thinking they were going to get like 750, 800, somewhere in there. Made sense to me. Because I was like, well, that's kind of what they had when they were going contested. Like, I imagine that fan base was still there. They got 460 this time. They got 500 something the last time, 530, I think. And it's just, to me, was a little bit of a surprise. It just, more than anything, it makes me super curious. What's going to happen when they go to TBS?
How well is that other show going to last?
Well, they're doing Dynamite on a Saturday coming up.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, but like Rampage, when it comes around, how's that going to handle?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that going to be a success?
Uh-huh.
No.
It's going to be on Fridays, and those are both going to be on TNT until I think the end of the year. And then next year, they're both moving to TBS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really curious.
No, I thought Rampage was staying on TNT, and only Dynamite's moving to TBS.
Yeah.
What I read was that they were both ending up on TBS.
Eventually, yeah. But they're also doing 4 major, or what they call major shows on TNT a year. So 1 a quarter.
this is maybe a weird thing, but would you even want to do that? Like, if you get your fan base conditioned to watch you a certain night of the year or of the week every week, would you want 4 times a year for them not to be able to find you? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, why would you want to be like, hey, we're gonna move it 4 times a year because it's a big deal? Like, that seems more risky.
But I think they're trying to make it more of like a pay-per-view type of show.
Yeah, which is
I
why
think
you'd want
that's
to
the
keep it where
intention.
people can find it. But I think TNT's in more households than TBS, so I'll give them that. So I don't know.
Probably.
Don't know.
Well, at least they're not
anything
on
else?
El Rey Network like Lucha Underground was.
That's a good point. Anything else happen on any of the AEW stuff you guys want to throw out? Either of you guys?
No, but Bitchy Ricky is best Ricky, as I said on episode 1. Always. Yeah. It's going to be interesting who's actually going to be the one that leads Team Taz. I know who I want to lead Team Taz. But,
No.
you know.
Taz?
That'd be great. His son? That'd be great. Who
I'm
knew?
not gonna wrestle, damn it.
Yeah, his son. Dad, you fucking suck. Suplexes his dad.
Be hysterical.
Be so fucking crazy.
Dr. Hajime on him.
That'd be so sick, dude. Justin, anything else happen in AEW you want to talk about?
Nope.
Let's talk it.
It
Let's talk
NXT.
NXT.
It was kind of a very uneventful show.
Which was weird, right? So the last Friday show was a go-home show, and it felt like that after the last one, they pumped so much into it, trying to make it so people would see it. It was almost as if it did so poorly in comparison to what they anticipated that they just were like, yeah, fuck it, and threw this one together. It's kind of what I was hearing from people, so. But I don't know. I don't know shit, man. I just come here, drink, and talk wrestling with my buddies.
Well, last week was not live. This week it's live.
Oh, it's worse.
Yeah.
Oh, last week's was taped?
Huh?
Oh, shit.
Ugh.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right, guys. All right. Let's talk NXT. NXT. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a go-home show for a pay-per-view. It felt to me, correct me if I'm wrong, it did a decent job of getting me excited about stuff that's happening on TakeOver, the pay-per-view. But it was overall kind of a middle-of-the-road episode. It was like almost a lot of... I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just don't know what I expect out of a big show. It didn't feel like an NXT show. It didn't feel like as much was happening, but it felt like a lot of promos. Like, and not even like promos in that a lot of talking, but just like a lot of work to make something seem more important on Sunday, which is probably ideal for a go home show. But I'll tell you, after the show, producer told me that she thought the show wasn't as good as she thought it was going to be. And I remember feeling that way, but I did say, but at the end of the day, it wasn't very exciting. Maybe that's what it was. It was low excitement, but a lot of build. Is that what it was? Am I way off on that? Justin, what do you think?
No, that sounds about right, honestly. It wasn't really like... It just felt like we're just trying to get to TakeOver at this point.
Right?
They just kind of built what they could, like, throw out there on the last, like, stretch, and that was it.
I bet you that's what it was, because we're at this point we're conditioned to have Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross 2. We're conditioned to have Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. Like, we're having literal matches of the year candidates on a Dynamite, and then you get this show where you're all like, yeah, but TakeOver's going to be good. You know what I mean? I think that's what it was. Amanda, what do you think? Am I way off? Was this a low excitement but a lot of build?
You know, I'll say there's only a handful of things that were exciting to me. Obviously, the whole the vignettes with LA Knight and with Cameron Grimes.
Yes.
So that was money. That was beautiful.
Was that fucking perfection?
You know what? I've watched that thing now 4 or 5 times. I love it. And then that whole thing, you know, when they actually were interacting with Ted. We
Yeah.
found out it's a ladder match, gold
Ted
ladder match.
DiBiase. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was very hypey to me. I loved it. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Some of the other matches, I mean, honestly, like opening up with Austin Theory. Sorry if you guys like him, but that was kind of boring and dry with only Lorcan.
Well,
Like,
I mean, here's the deal. It was a good match with very little story that mattered, with characters we're not invested in.
Yeah. True.
So yeah, it was
heel.
heel versus heel, two really fantastic wrestlers with absolutely nothing behind it. This was just like, hey, do you think Austin Theory and Oney Lorcan could have a good match? I do. Well, let's see it. Should we do any kind of story with it? No. This felt like a tournament match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's no tournament. So you just kind of watched it and went, okay. Because where does it go? Nowhere. And I'll give you this. There was that whole Triple H thing that came out today where he had this whole call, and he said a lot of NXT fans, he goes, wrestling fans will ruin it for themselves. They always want to know what's going to be next and what's happening next, and they don't allow themselves to enjoy the moment. I agree with that in a lot of ways, but there are some ways where you watch a match with no emotion because there's no what's next, right? There's sometimes where we can't figure out what's next and we ruin it for ourselves because, well, I don't know where it's going, so fuck it. No. There was literally no what's next here. Yeah. It wasn't like, I can't wait to see where this goes. You just go, oh, this is a match. Because what we end up with Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, maybe not. Would it even fucking matter if we did? None of them are champions. You know what I mean? So it was just a cold match in that sense. So I will say I agreed with Triple H for the most part. For this one, it was just a good match that was just there, and I went, okay, good job, guys. You know what I mean? But move on. Next.
The match felt like it was since Johnny and Pete Dunne are like in the same match with each other going at it. They were just like, hey, let's just take the other two, and there's a match between the two. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got you. I agree with that. There was matches in here that just seemed fucking cold, and that was one of them. Pete Dunne getting involved. That was, oh my God. Fucking Christ. Can you guys, either one of you, do either one of you love Johnny Gargano?
Oh, hell no.
I do. I like Johnny.
Justin, okay, good. No, that's good. That's the whole point of this. This is a dive bar where we want to have differing opinions and not dive down each other's throats about it. We want to get to know. I don't get it, man. I want you to help me here. When I'm watching this bit with Pete Dunne and Gargano was being pulled away from Pete Dunne by nothing. There was one point where a referee put his hand on his hip, one hand on one hip of Gargano, and he went flying backwards like he was just being tackled by a dude. Gargano, to me, and I want you to help me see it the way you see it, he comes off like a high school play. He's overacting. He's childish. He seems so heavily scripted, and he's trying so hard. Everything seems so forced. I don't see it. I don't get it. I don't find him funny. Nothing looks natural. When he was punching Pete Dunne, he was nowhere near him. So everything he does looks phony to me. Dude, what am I missing, or are you just seeing it differently than I see it?
I mean, he does occasionally. It feels like he's getting carried away. He's trying to be too funny, and that's Johnny's never been that before this. And it's just like now he's like, oh, you always want to see the funny side of me. You don't have to get carried away with it. It makes you look like a goof.
And that could be.
That's how because he gets carried away with it.
Okay, and that's fair. And I'm not trying to say somebody's wrong for liking Gargano. A lot of people think he's fantastic. I do think I could see that for sure because I know for a fact I'm much more critical of comedy than I am of wrestling. But
that's not even comedy, though.
Well, that's what I mean. He's trying to portray it like it's comedy, and to me, it's like, oh, if you want to tell jokes, because I have a different bar for that. I judge that differently, and so I wonder if I'm judging Gargano way too harshly because he's trying to be a comedian and he's just not that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
So that could be. Do you? Here's my problem with Gargano matches is they're so heavily, obviously choreographed, and Gargano does not move naturally. He forces himself into every position. You'll literally see him run to another place to be there to be hit by somebody. And it doesn't look like he's just trying to get there for any other reason. He goes there, stands, waits, and puts his hand up. Do you not see that when? And this isn't like a patronizing like what are you dumb, Justin? It's not that. Is that not what you're seeing when you're watching it? Does it look way more natural to you when you see it?
See, like I said, I like Johnny, but his matches sometimes they're way overbooked. They go too long. He's kicking out too much. He's doing all this freaking shit. He looks like he's just kind of like leading himself into the next spot. It's weird. It's really weird. Like after a while, you get like kind of lost in it, and then you're just like, and it, like when it starts picking up, his matches start picking up, you get into it, and then it's just like you don't really see it. But then there's times when you sit there and you look at it, you go, all right, he walked into that spot. He's kind of whiffing him there. He's doing this, and then it's just
okay. So I think the difference is that I get caught up on it and then check out, and you, which is not a negative thing, it's actually a positive thing. You just like grit and bear it until it picks up and you can get lost in it. And I do the opposite. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I think it's probably better the way you watch it, where you go, okay, here's where the dumb stuff is, but after the dumb stuff, it really gets going. You know what I mean? Like, and then I love it. Like, okay, cool. But for me, like the beginning, like is too much of that to where I go, all right, well, I'm done now. And I'll stop paying attention. I'll start looking at my phone. I'll grab a drink. You know what I mean? Like I'll do that. Where you maybe check your phone in the beginning and then get invested. You know what I mean? Again, this isn't to like knock you or say you're wrong or anything or try to make you feel bad or nothing like that. I think, I mean, if I could enjoy literally everything I ever watched, that's the way to go. You know what I mean? Jeremy does say, I agree with you, Marsh. Oh, sorry, Justin, you're done for. You're an idiot. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. He says, Gargano seems to be acting too much and playing too much into the goofy character that doesn't work for a lot of people, myself included. And Bishop says, I think you're both right. And that's where I think it is. You either, if you get Gargano, it's because you grin and bear it and get to the point where he starts doing his thing and you're lost. Or if you don't get Gargano, you check out so early you never get to experience what the other people are experiencing. And that's where I live. Does that make sense?
Yeah, or you can live where I live. And
yeah, where you live.
It's like, where I live, it's like, dude, what the fuck? Yeah. And then I
tone it down.
Ignore it altogether, you know? And I get pissed off when I have to be subjected to it. Mm-hmm. That's my neighborhood.
You're like, tone it down.
Tone it down.
Damn it, Gargano. Calm down.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'd rather see his wife, like, be in it so she can, like, I don't know, make it actually kind of work.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah. All right, cool. And then Jeremy does say, plus all of Gargano's matches seem to be the same match in my opinion. Yeah. I completely agree. And I think Adam Cole's the same way. They have their match that they do the way they do it.
Sometimes
that's how I
Adam
feel.
Cole's like that. Not all the time.
And I felt like Adam Cole and Gargano was definitely that. Let's do them. Let's just play it through again.
Because those guys have been wrestling each other forever, a long time.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Their takeover match. Their two takeover matches. When Johnny won the 2 out of 3 falls match, and won the title, and then Cole took it the next takeover. Their matches, those two matches were pretty much identical. They were the same thing, just shorter.
Yeah, in reverse.
Yeah.
We'll just do it reverse. So, but all right. Let's see. Well, we'll keep it moving. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not trying to like knock you at all. I just really wanted to understand the other side because I was like, I don't see it, so I appreciate that. They did have Doc Hendricks come out. I got a kick out of that. I really did. I know producer did not understand what was happening with the Doc Hendricks stuff, but it was really one of those things where it's all like, look, if you weren't watching in the 90s, it's just not going to be cool to you, and that's probably fine. But if you are watching in the 90s, this is pretty damn cool. So it's one of those little nuggets for people. But let's see. Bishop does say in there he thinks that the IWC overrates Candice. I think I would hear the argument, to be honest. Like,
Why do you
I
think
thought
so,
for a long
Bishop?
time.
I'm curious. Why? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I think it's this. I think it's this. Is you watch her matches in general, and they're not incredible, outstanding matches. You don't see a Candice match with any given person and think every match is fantastic. You don't always think. I mean, you don't always know if Candice is bringing out the absolute best people. You're not seeing like Sasha Banks, Bayley matches out of Candice and someone she's worked with a dozen times. Her matches are good, but there's a lot to be read between the lines, I think. I think that when you really like scope out and watch the match almost from like a studying standpoint and not from just like an enjoyment standpoint, which is like the worst way to watch, you start to see how much she's doing in there and how much she's directing. So there's an impressive factor there. I think she's constantly surrounded by people who are less skilled than her. And I think that brings down the vision of what she's doing, right? She's never in there with somebody as tenured and as skilled as she is. So she's constantly having to make up for other people. Yeah, Bishop says here, she's character heavy but not fluid or technically proficient. It seems that way because she's in the ring with a bunch of rookies, because she's being utilized to bring up the next class, not to highlight herself. If she was the women's champion instead of Io this past year, you would be thinking of her the way you think of Io. Candice is prepping people for Io. That's what she's been doing. She's the feeder system for Io. I think she has the short end of the stick on it. I really do. I would say that I thought she was overrated for a long time, but I started seeing these little things she was doing, and I do think that her character work is fantastic right now. I love the details she has in this Pixie, and I think she's the only good thing that's in the way at all, to be honest, and we'll get to that in a second. But Bishop does say then she needs those matches. Dakota does it better. Dakota's also typically put with... I mean, Dakota, like... She just sells like nobody. But if I had to venture an argument, go ahead.
To be fair with Candice LeRae and the indie scene, what she did on the indie scene is completely different than what she's doing in NXT, because she primarily was doing intergender. Very once in a while, she'd have a women's match here and there or whatever. But that was her thing, was the intergender things. And I think that everyone goes back and they think about matches like, the guerrilla warfare match that she and, an unnamed wrestler who I'm not going to name wrestled the Young Bucks. And
you already named them though before earlier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I did drop the name earlier. Oh God, what am I?
Yes, you did.
Oh, damn it. Okay, well, Joey Ryan. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, it's true.
But no, I mean, and I think a lot of people, when they have this vision of Candice LeRae, and it's on shirts that she was selling at Pro Wrestling Tees, was her face all bloodied and her hair kind of almost like in shreds because there was so much blood. And I think that's
the thumbtack super kick, right?
Yeah, the thumbtack super kick. Right. And people look at that and they're like, whoa, that's Candice LeRae. Oh my God, so exciting. Like, because she took that punishment. Yeah. But when you look at her now, it's like, okay, a lot of people are like, well, I'm not impressed. Like, I don't see what it is. But if you look at some of those matches that she's had with some of these people, like an Adam Cole, like actually even when she wrestled her husband, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, she's always been one that is more of a, I'm here to support you and push you, more so than me. So she's a very giving person in that aspect. So I think I think people are expecting a little bit more out of her than what they're getting. And that's why people, they don't get the hype.
Yeah. And I will say that the IWC is very much into the indie darling kind of concept. So they're going to send out these GIFs, these pictures, these moments from when she was on the indies, and they're not going to judge her based off what she's doing right now. They're going to judge her off of like those older things as well, and hold on to that forever, which I think can be, just as positive as it is negative. Jeremy does say, in my opinion, that's the reason why Candice never beat Io Shirai for the women's title and is now in the tag team division. She's being used more to enhance the look to those more green wrestlers like Shotzi and Indy, etc. Yeah, that's what I mean. She's the platform in the middle. Like the way you think about the Intercontinental title in the Attitude Era is Candice LeRae. She's there for the women to learn enough from to get into a main event picture. She is that next step. And Bishop says, I'm good with all that, so I'll ease off the judgment, but I can't give high props to someone who doesn't make sure they both look good in the chance that they are afforded. It's part of the giving part of giving props. I mean, yeah, at times, but at the same time, like, I think everyone has different aspirations, right? Everybody's got different goals. What I think made Bayley's 500 days as champion so good was how good all of her contenders looked. The fact that people didn't think she should have been the champion. The fact that everyone said, well, this match is clearly where she's going to lose it because this other person looks so good in the ring. I do think that there's something to be said for people who are trying to grow the next batch while trying to stay in a prominent position. But I do think that I agree that the idea that Candice isn't women's champ and seems further away from it than ever is, upsetting. It's bad. I'd like to see matches more with Candice and like a Toni Storm. You know what I mean? Instead of like the rookies. Like, I get it, you need to do it, but at the same time, maybe Candice has absolutely no desire to go to the main roster. I know Johnny Gargano doesn't, and maybe she's like, I don't want to leave Gargano. Like maybe she doesn't want a different schedule. Maybe her whole thing is like, if she perfects the idea of coaching in ring on TV this way, then her and Gargano could stay in NXT forever, and they're just happy with that. So I mean, that's good too. You know what I mean? Like,
The
I
two
think
of
there's
them
other sides
used
to it.
to, train people. So if you ever want to say, oh my God, who's responsible for Britt Baker? Look at those two.
That's true.
Hashtag
too.
facts.
That's true.
But, I mean, I think that that's the role that she and Johnny, I think, feel probably the most comfortable in, is doing that coaching thing and mentoring and things like that. Because just everything that I had ever heard of from the AIW school in Cleveland was, just how great they were with the kids, quote unquote. So,
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to them if that's,
Yeah.
their thing. But don't
Yeah.
make Johnny funny, because it just doesn't work.
Yeah. And not to sound shitty, but Candice could always keep up with all the guys, and that's a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grim Reaper's in the chat. Cheers to Grim Reaper. Thank you for coming through, buddy.
Hey, Grim
Yeah,
Reaper.
let me know when you're because I know he's got a new kid, so cheers to that.
Yes.
But you're gonna let me know when you're back in the swing where you think you might be able to do another show again. I've thought about reaching out a few times, but feel hesitant. But he says LeRae is slightly less talented than Natty. And I would say that she's probably the next wave Natty. He says, used to make other wrestlers better, but rarely gets championship run. She's the sister of the locker room. So I can't disagree with that. I think
she's always been that way.
Yeah, and I think she's going to be the next generation's Natty, because we've had Natty for a long time. I don't know how many years we got left, but once Natty's gone, Candice has taken that spot. She's going to be the mother of the locker room, the mama bear, Bishop does say Murphy versus Dominic is Candice versus who? And I would say probably like a Shotzi or an Indy. I mean, I know the Indy and them are tagging now, but yeah, she's just there to teach the other folk, I think the tag team thing, because you want to think about it this way, Dominic's in a tag now. And I don't think that's a mistake, because now you got Dominic and Rey Mysterio in a tag match against Rude and Ziggler. So now Dominic gets to learn from not one person on the other side, but two people on the other side and one on his side. So now he's learning from three people at a time.
That you can't get anything better than that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Exactly. If I'm Dominic and I'm tagging with Rey Mysterio Jr., regardless of the fact it's my dad, I'm tagging with Rey Mysterio Jr. and I'm across the ring from Ziggler and Bobby Roode, I'm learning a lot tonight. I got a pen and pad while I'm in the ring. You know what I mean? I'm listening to everything everyone is saying, and I'm getting a masterclass. And I think that's why you put Candice in a tag team the way that they did, because now Indy's in a master class. Now I will say, Indy's fucked. She's in a terrible class with a bunch of wannabe comedians. So the character work they're doing right now is absolute trash, if I'm being honest. And then Bishop says, agreed, big training wheels. 100%. But here's the deal. So let's talk about the thing, because we'll get to all the other stuff in bit by bit. But if we want to talk about the way, there was a segment there where Candice does a thing with Indy. Dexter ends up hugging Poppy. Poppy pops Dexter's Loomis. Indy shows up and says, what the hell's going on here? And then the
Wait, you
stuff
said that?
What do you mean? The way Indy is being right now, this character work, this childish acting, this stupid, shitty romance that's not even a romance, this cartoonish comic book strips shit, I am so over. I was so excited for Indy. We put over Indy a bunch when she first showed up. She's going to be big. You got to watch her. She's really good. She's got a ton of potential. She's not there yet, but she's going to get there. Now you've strapped her in a fucking faction with Johnny Gargano and said, learn everything you can from Gargano, while Gargano is doing easily the worst work of his entire career, trying to be funny when he's not funny. And that's what she's learning. She has become unwatchable. And that sucks. Because Candice is the only one in that faction that actually has comedic timing at all. Everyone else is trying way too hard. Candice is a natural. Candice could be a comedian if she really wanted to go that route. She's got timing. Yeah. No one else does. It
but
sucks,
also,
dude. Go ahead.
You know, with Candice, she also did on the indies work with a lot of people who, are some of the upper echelon of the, the quote unquote comedic wrestlers.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's done a lot with Cabana, and God, I can't tell you how many times I've seen her and Joey versus Colt and someone insert whoever.
Gross. But
yeah, so she's great at it. You can tell. So I think, that's kind of how she always has been. But this other stuff, it's like, God, you people are stupid. I think that's why I just can't watch Austin Theory, is because of all this stupid shit.
Yes.
And I'm like, nope, nope, not for me.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Grimmer says Dexter's Loomis, baby. And then Bishop does say Indy's in-ring is getting fun to watch too, and that's what I mean. That's the problem. That's the absolute problem to me, is that she's starting to get good in ring.
Yeah.
And her character is so fucking awful to watch that I don't even pay attention anymore.
You're like a weirdo.
Yeah. When I see Candice and Indy with a microphone in front of them, I just turn the volume down and say, forget it. You know what I mean? I'll listen with one ear and do something else. I am not paying attention to this garbage. But then when you get to see the actual match, you go, oh, they're good. Why don't they even try to make their characters reasonable? But yeah, it just sucks, man. I think the Way is the worst faction in the fucking industry right now, dude. I can't stand it. It's just garbage. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not good. It's not obnoxious. It's just unwatchable. That's not where you want to be. I don't think.
I wouldn't say that's the worst faction of all time.
Not of all time, just currently.
Well, currently, yeah, I think so. Well, actually, no. I don't like this weird Young Bucks. No, hell no. I think on the level, what's more annoying, I think they're pretty equal.
Okay, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Okay.
Let's see. We got Phantasma, MSK, and Bronson Reed. We don't need to break that whole thing down, but I can't wait for the fucking match to happen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Like, what? And I liked their back and forth a lot.
Mm-hmm. I love the fact that everyone enjoyed watching Bronson smush Santos.
So funny.
I was like, oh my God, play it again.
So funny.
Jesus. You guys are shit starters. But yeah, I can't wait for that.
Actually, let me go back to Justin.
I like the little tease too.
What was that, Justin?
I like the little tease with Hit Row also.
Yes. Yes. And we're going to talk about that right now. Real quick before we go into that. We just said a whole bunch of shit, Justin. But being honest, do you like the way? Does it make you laugh?
They have their moments. They get me.
Okay.
That's
fair.
I think it's this whole the story of Dexter and Indy. To me, it was enjoyable when it started, but now it just kind of feels like it's going nowhere on occasions. It feels like it goes, then stops, then backtracks, then goes forward, and then stops, and then backtracks, and it just needs to, if it's gonna keep going, like, keep going. Stop with the fucking pauses and throwing the little wrench in there of, oh, Indy's jealous, or Dexter got caught, or some kind of shit like that. Like, let's just get to the fucking point already at this point.
Yeah.
I also don't know where you go with it that it matters. Do you end up with Dexter being managed by Indy? And that's not to say, like, hey, where does it go? And, you know, that whole Triple H conversation we had before. But at the end of the day, I can appreciate that you think that the story is outworn its welcome at this point and that it's being dragged on unnecessarily. But early on I was like, okay, that's neat. It's kind of funny. But it wore out its welcome with me real quick. And I think that, I don't know if other people are catching on that it's like, at this point, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, every time it seems like it's always, okay, we're going to go somewhere with this. And then it's just, oh, Dexter got caught hugging somebody. Or Indy found this out. And then we just kind of go nowhere with it. Yeah. And then it starts with something else. And I still it was still funny, but it has its moments. But it just feels like it's kind of like on a stop and go kind of thing right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say I'm glad you like it. I do think that as much as I don't like certain things, I am also not the type to say that no one should like a thing. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of that out there. If you like this, you're an idiot. No, that's not. No, that is not the case. If you like this, you have a different taste than me. There's a difference.
I get that.
I do think. Yeah. I mean, I don't like fucking. What are those sour gummies that everybody likes?
Ugh.
Sour Patch
What are the
Kids?
ones?
You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like them very much.
Oh.
But they're fine. You know what I mean? Like I don't like them much. If someone's like, "Hey, I got a pack of Sour Patch Kids," no thanks. They say it to the next person sitting next to me, and they go, "Oh, holy shit!" That's what I think of wrestling.
It's like
Wrestling
the people
is
that
Sour
bitch
Patch
and
Kids.
complain about pineapple on pizza. It's like you either like it or you don't.
Yeah, but do you like it or do you don't?
I don't, but other people do.
Yeah.
That's fine by me.
Like some people like Canadian bacon. Other people like regular bacon.
What? No, there's you can't. No, it's ham. What are you talking? What do you mean? No one goes back and forth about Canadian bacon, like ham and bacon. Like, if you like if you like bacon, you also like ham. Like, what are you talking about?
No, that's not true. That is not true. I've had this conversation with somebody, and we got really in depth. We talked for 2 hours about this exact topic.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, and I'll tell you who it was. It was Ricky and I had this conversation.
Oh shit!
Bacon and ham, and I said, oh, I love me some, like, I love bacon, I love ham, I love all of that. And he goes, oh no, he's like, ham, no, you can't eat pig, but bacon. I go, wait a minute. And what? So we had this whole thing, and I'm like, no, it's a pig. It's still pork. Hello.
Yeah.
And turkey bacon doesn't count. That's not bacon, or any of these
it's
like wannabe bacons. That's not bacon, people.
So wait,
it's not bacon.
So wait, does Ricky eat turkey bacon and think it's real bacon?
You know, he does now. Oh, but yeah, well, look at his body. I mean, you know, I don't blame him, but you know, I mean, but still, no, because actually, the only reason why is because we were eating at an IHOP, and late at night, and this discussion came out. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
Wait, so is he having regular bacon there?
Yeah, he did.
So he's like, I like bacon, but I don't like ham.
On, you know, TV. Well, even like a little before that, when he was trying to get a job. But anyways, So yeah, no. I mean, yeah, and I was like, wait a minute, you're eating pork right now, and you're eating bacon.
He goes,
It's
yeah, I
not
don't
like
eat pig, just
sizzling
bacon.
or whatever those other bacon alternatives are. You're eating bacon, you know?
What's good
Look,
about
it's a
that
pig.
too is not only is it pig, it's literally the fattest part of the pig. So it's like,
Exactly.
I don't eat ham because ham's unhealthy. I eat bacon.
Yeah, we went to this one Japanese we came and wrestled out here. We went to this Japanese barbecue place, right? There's a name for it. I don't know what the name is, but anyways, I had gotten pork belly, and he was like, "That is disgusting." I go, "It's just fatty bacon." What, guys? We're not getting into this conversation yet. Like, yeah, no.
Bishop's in the chat. He does say, "Who's Ricky?" We're talking about Ricky Starks.
Who's Bishop? Oh,
I don't
Really,
know.
Bishop?
I don't know. He's just.
You don't know who Ricky Starks is. Come on.
He might be having Elijah Craig as well. We'll see. Let me see. We'll keep it rolling. So let's talk about what you were talking about, the Hit Row thing. I want to talk with you guys about Hit Row. I want to know what you guys think about Hit Row, because right now, you know what? I did a whole lot of this is what I think. What do you think? I want to go reverse. Let's start with Justin. Justin, the teaser here with Hit Row coming out, the way they did their entrance by breaking up in between Phantasma, them kind of like literally that one woman, she walked right between them and kind of did like a little motion. What do you think about Hit Row right now? The presentation of this going into commercial, the match afterwards. Tell me what you think.
I fucking love Hit Row. I'm a big Swerve fan, and I didn't know much about like Ashanti the Adonis or AJ Francis, or I forgot what the hell her name is. All I know is she's B-Fab now. I don't really know what her actual name is. I don't know what her name is actually, but it's so fucking good. Like it's pretty much Swerve's entourage in music, and it's just, and they're wrestlers, and it's fucking great. I enjoy the shit out of it. I think it's great.
I love it. Amanda, what do you think?
Well, I differ in the opinion. I do love Swerve. Don't get me wrong. But this just kind of feels, I don't know. It just, there's something that's just not right. And in a way, I think, is this like WWE's way of saying, oh yeah, we see what you're doing with that acclaimed people, you know? But I know, you know, I mean, to be fair, yeah, no, Swerve's been, you know, playing around with music for quite a while, even before he was signed. So, but I don't know, there's just something about it, because it's like, okay, you have the girl who I don't remember her name is either, and she just reminds me of like a flea market Jade Cargill. And then you get the other guys, and I'm just like, I don't know, because then it takes away from how Swerve is, you know, as a wrestler and a performer. I think that totally takes it away, and it almost it doesn't complement it, and it doesn't. I don't think it for me, it really doesn't do anything for me. It's just kind of like, ugh. If I have to sit through that until I can see what, you know, a traditional Swerve match, if there's even anything, you know, to say that, that's where that's where I'm like, not my thing.
Let me tell you what Grim Reaper said in the chat. What was that, Justin?
Go ahead, Marsh. Do yours first.
No, wait. What'd you say?
Oh well, I only had one gripe with it. Is it just kind of sucks because with Swerve being so good as he is, it kind of sucks because they didn't have anything. They couldn't do anything with him solo, but you could do stuff with him freaking as a team, which kind of is my one gripe about it, because he's just too damn good. How do you not use him? How could you not do anything big with him solo? Like,
I'll tell you here in a second.
Yeah, I think that shows how closed off the WWE still kind of is to things, because you know, I mean, and this is not, you know, indie darlings and all this other shit. No, I mean, I've legit seen some like pretty amazing matches that he's done. And even stuff where it's kind of like, I'll say kind of jokey, like at WrestleCons when they have all these other different events. And I've seen he and Jeff Cobb had a match that it was for Sami Callihan's promotion. Pancakes and Piled. Well, no, that was the name of the show. But anyways, they both did some comedy. And it was interesting because I'm like, I've never seen either of those two do comedy. And it was kind of weird, but it was really cool at the same time because of how good both of those guys wrestle. And it was pretty amazing. So I think it's just more of, I don't think that people are really in touch with, okay, well, we got these guys. Same with Ricochet. Well, what do you do with them? And I think that putting them in a group or faction is the easy way out.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I got to school all you guys here in a second.
Oh.
Let me go. I feel like I'm about to black out like was in what was the one with Will Ferrell where he was in the debate squad? He does the thing and then he just comes back and goes, "Oh my God, what just happened?" I feel like that's what we're about to fall into. Let me hit the chat real quick because here's what I think the disconnect is with a lot of people. Grim Reaper does say here, the Hit Row tease is very good. They called out the champs in promos, which is true. Yeah, they were definitely calling out MSK in the promos, but you never saw interaction outside of them just being like, "Yeah, we're fucking watching you." And he goes, and then Swerve's match against Killian Dane gives us the image that he could beat a big man like Bronson Reed for the North American title, which is true. Terrible Wrestling takes. Bishop says, Amanda said terribly takes. I actually like that idea. Man, do you want to shout out the terribly takes again? No? All right. I hope he marked it. And put it in his intro. And then Graham Reaper says, also MSK is growing on me big time as awesome good guys. They put them against a bad team like Hit Row, and I'll root for MSK. I'm glad Grim Reaper's finally on board. MSK is us. If you're a wrestling fan and you're not rooting for MSK, you don't understand good guys. Mm-hmm. Like there's just a disconnect there. They are you. They are you in the wrestling ring right now. They are the ultimate underdog, never supposed to be here guys, and they're incredible at that.
Did I not say in episode 1 that you would really dig them?
Yeah, you did. Also, by the way, Bishop said he never heard Amanda mention Ricky ever, which means he hasn't been listening since episode 1. So, but just say, Jeremy does say, I think everyone around Swerve needs time to get used to for the viewers. Fans don't really know who the other 3 are yet, besides just some of Swerve's friends who just so happen to wrestle, which I get and I don't disagree with. But here's the thing. Let me break it down a little bit differently. So I'm kind of like right in the middle between the two of you. I think the reason Swerve never connected was because he was the guy who went out there and did really good matches, but didn't have much of an identity. He was just a guy going out there with literally his fucking logo was just cum dripping his name. So it was this most disgusting fucking porn shop with a hole in the wall, Isaiah Swerve in jizz on his shirt, coming out there to have an amazing match, and he had no idea why that shit was happening. What this does is instead of Swerve going out there and just rapping to himself with headphones on like he's B-Rabbit in a fucking bus, this gives him the presence of not only is he very good at this, but he's respected amongst his peers at this. So it gives him that entourage of belovedness. So it elevates him a little bit more. What I love about Hit Row is their general swagger. They have really fluid movements. They seem really in tune with each other. They seem all like assholes in the best way. I love this version of Swerve. I love all of the people around him. We've seen AJ Gray be an absolute beast in the ring. We haven't seen B-Fab do anything. My biggest problem with the Hit Row right now is that she doesn't seem to have much of a character, but she has great swagger. So to me, right now, I liken Hit Row as like a TV show with an incredible intro, and then nothing happens on that episode. Like, you're so invested in the promo, in the way that the presentation is. This is going to be amazing. This looks fantastic. Everybody's clicking. Everybody's there. And then you watch the show and you go, I don't know that anything happened. It was like people just hanging out the whole time. Swerve is still having good matches, but these characters aren't making any forward motion. They're not making any movement. They're not doing anything. So they're not identifying themselves in a different way. So to me, it's a TV show without progress. I think there's so much potential there because they all seem so skilled. But I do think Swerve needs the other people to elevate him as an entity so he can be respected amongst other people who we think are good. I think they all need each other, and I think they're doing an awesome job of their presentation. I don't think that we have enough of a decent story for it to be next level yet.
But I think with him, though, it was his matches that made him. You know?
Yeah, but that's not enough. That's just not flat out not enough.
But you know what? That's what got him there.
Right. And that's what will keep him there.
Stands for confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
but that's not enough.
It's not his fault or anyone else's fault that they just don't know how to capitalize on that. Because I think that's one of the E's biggest downfalls. And I'm not saying that, one promotion's better than another because they're not. So I don't know.
But that's just it. It's no one's downfall. The problem is this. You have idiots like Meltzer who give a 5-star rating to every single Dynamite. There's at least one 5-star match on every single Dynamite. What that does more than anything is it undermines the concept of fantastic matches mattering. They don't matter. You can be amazing in the ring and it doesn't matter anymore. You need more than that. Meltzer has driven away the concept of good matches meaning something by virtue alone. If every single week I can turn into one show and see, quote, the greatest, most perfect match that's ever been, then what does it matter if I tune into another wrestling show and see another perfect match? It just flat out doesn't. I can tune in every week to every single wrestling show and see at least one match that's relatively perfect. Just doesn't matter. You have to be more. And Swerve needed more. He needed you not to only appreciate the fact that his matches are perfect, but to give a shit that the matches are that way. That's why I hate Meltzer. He ruined wrestling by giving fucking so many perfect scores out. You know, the Rock versus Hogan was like a 2-star match or some shit?
What?
Yeah.
Meltzer's out of his fucking mind.
Meltzer doesn't love pro wrestling. He loves moves. He loves gymnastics. He doesn't love pro wrestling. If he was to be rating it based off of crowd reaction alone, Rock and Hogan would have been the perfect match. There was no more active crowd than that match. If you watch that match without the sound on, it's okay. If you watch the match with the sound on, you can't get your blood pressure down. You know what I mean? But, Amanda, do you know what I'm saying? I think she's eating a wing. But by saying that having fantastic matches just doesn't seem to be enough anymore.
Yeah, I get that.
Maybe she's proper gone. But I don't disagree about Swerve. He is fantastic, and his matches do set him apart. His movement sets him apart. We're watching this match the other night, and producer keeps going like, "Oh my god, you see the way he got out of that?" I'm like, "What?" He literally does this weird roll to avoid being hit, and she's blown away by it. He's that good. His defense is impressive. Not being hit is impressive. It's worth rewatching. Just not making contact. So there's a lot to be said for how good he is, but he needs that dial up. And I think Hit Row gives him that dial up. Now they need purpose. I don't know. Maybe I went on too long about that. I apologize.
No,
but
that makes sense.
But it's also because I don't disagree with either of you right now. Are you there, Amanda?
Sorry, I had to do front desk duty.
Go ahead. No, it's all good.
Oh, yeah, no.
Did you? What do you think?
I didn't get to hear all of it because I was
Okay, no, it's fine.
yeah, but I'll have to listen back.
More or less, I was saying that being fantastic isn't enough. If you give a 5-star match rating to one match every week, it undermines the ability to be just that good in the ring and have that matter.
But to be fair, though, I've seen Swerve do a lot of like high caliber 4.5, 4 3/4, and 5-star matches.
Yeah.
And it's, it's not that, well, what I think would be, and most people would think, not Meltzer, because I don't think he knows shit, but anyways,
right.
I think that, you got to be talented to do that, and being able to work with a lot of different, play with others in the sandbox, let's just say. And he does it well, because I've seen people that he's wrestled with totally different weird styles, and it doesn't ever look like it's funky or unnatural, which is rare, because there's some people, like I see like Adam Cole, I'm like, oh, there's some people that I would think, man, if he wrestled them, it would look really awkward or things like that. He's not like a person like Karrion Kross or even like Finn Balor, where, they look good against almost anybody, pretty much. So, I don't know.
All right.
That's
all right.
my sort
All
of thing.
Good. Let's keep it moving. Xia Li and Martinez. I just want to say I'm so hyped for this. I cannot fucking wait.
So am I.
I loved all of this stuff.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about it, Justin?
No, not really. I think it's going to be great. Xia, I like how they're telling it of the Mae Young Classic is really this big of a deal for just how much it affected Xia, and that's what I like about it mostly a lot. And I just think her and Mercedes can have a hell of a match anyway. You got this new aggressiveness and dangerous side to Xia Li, and Mercedes Martinez has got this really is like a complete fucking badass. I'm all for this.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And Xia Li can't be more than like 5'5'2". She is
no way.
small.
She's tiny.
No.
But I don't think for 1 second that I could even, as hard as I try, actually connect with a punch before she were able to kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I was like, oh, I'm going to go sucker punch Xia Li when she's not paying attention, I feel like I'd never even make contact before she murdered me. I'd just be dead. You know what I mean?
Sword out.
Yep. You probably would be.
She just seems like she's that skilled as a fighter, to be that aware at all times and that ready to combat somebody. Like you'd have to be like the highest level to be able, you know what I mean? Like she just comes off so fucking legit. It's crazy. And she's in obviously the best shape of her life.
God.
So I'm so fucking excited for it.
So
let's see. There was a promo with Breezango. Oh, go ahead.
I could use another vignette or two before.
Oh, yeah. I can't get enough of those.
Yeah, I know. They're great.
Right.
Yeah.
There was some sort of promo with Breezango, and I think it had something to do with Walter, but I was not paying attention because I don't like listening to Breezango. Was there anything I missed?
I didn't even hear it either, honestly. I just saw it.
Perfect.
No, they were just talking about, Imperium and Walter and all this other stuff. To be quite honest, I was more, when I was looking at Tyler Breeze's shirt, how awfully fake that Louis Vuitton shirt was.
Oh, it was garbage.
It was total garbage.
Right. Move it along. Let's see. Poppy popped to Dexter's Loomis. And he got upset. But then, so here's the other bit. So we started talking about it earlier. Let's talk about it now. The $1 million belt is back. We have a golden ladder, and now LA Knight and Cameron Grimes are going to fight in a fucking ladder match on a pay-per-view for the $1 million title.
I just have one word to say.
Say
Go
it.
ahead.
Like, there's the love of pro wrestling in this match. You know what I mean? Like, this just exudes everything that is the love of pro wrestling. LA Knight and Cameron Grimes are two dudes who love pro wrestling to the highest degree. And they are about to have a ladder match on a pay-per-view for Ted DiBiase's $1 million title. Like, that's got to give them chills when I think about it. You know what I mean? Like, this is an unreal situation. This doesn't make sense. This shouldn't happen. And not because it makes no sense, but because this is too fucking amazing for it to happen. And for talent like LA Knight and Cameron Grimes with such different styles, who both can work with anybody, this to me, I think is going to steal the show. I think this will be match of the night.
Oh, that would be freaking, I think it can be.
Well, you know, I said I only have one word to say about this whole thing. Yeah.
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 This match is going to the moon.
Man, I loved this whole thing. I loved all of it. The presentation of it. I know that there were some fucking dirt sheets out there that said like 2 weeks ago that were like, oh, the $1 million belt's coming back. When I read that, I remember thinking like, maybe, but we'll get there. And also, fuck you, dude, because at the end of the day, there has not been one thing spoiled about AEW and their surprises. Because what?
Yeah.
By us, we've guessed it before it's happened.
Well,
not because we have information, not because
no.
we have leaks.
No.
We've guessed shit.
No. There's been things that people have, said, and I'll go there with Ricky. Everyone's like, oh yeah, he's trying out for AEW, and I'm like, no, he's not. That shocked me.
Yeah, but that was a guy going from NWA to AEW. But like Andrade, Big Show, Mark Henry, Sting, they all played that super. But those were all played close to the chest. No dirt sheet wrote that it was going to happen.
Because I think Tony pays them off. It's like mafia.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, they're so protective over AEW, and they just can't wait to be the guy that fucking ruins something for WWE. Like, get off on it, and it's fucking weird and stupid. If you think that you're doing a service to the wrestling business by not spoiling Sting coming out as a surprise, oh, but trust me, it's better for the fans. But then you're the same person who writes when the $1 million belt's coming out, you are just a piece of shit person. Because it's that same emotion you're trying to destroy. And you can't be both. You can't say, well, yeah, AEW's good for wrestling, but WWE's bad for wrestling. No, you're wrong. You're wrong at both.
Everybody's good and bad.
Yes, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. Everybody's good and bad.
Duality.
But the one thing that's... And what's the one thing that's always good is the fans... The fans' response. And if you try to ruin a fan's enjoyment for one company because you only want them to enjoy another, then you're wrong. And if you try to protect a fan's enjoyment because it's the right company, then you're wrong again. Let's see. Jeremy does say, though, that was a bit of a tangent. I apologize. Justin, do you want to chime in on that tangent?
Yeah, I would completely agree with it. It was fucking bullshit that the first thing they did was throw that out there that the fucking $1 million title was coming back. That shit annoys the hell out of me because, damn it, I would have wanted to be freaking surprised, but I was still happy as hell when it did happen because that fucking title, you don't see it so often, but when you do, it's incredible. That title is amazing to look at.
Yeah.
And they nailed everything with this, with LA Knight and fucking Cameron Grimes. They have nailed the ever living shit out of all this. I think
they have it. It's been absolutely perfect, and I agree with you. Even when I saw it, the first thing I thought was, "Well, yeah, are you stupid, or do you not watch?" Like, so much of what the dirt sheets put out is the same bullshit that we fucking wildly guess on here. Because at the end of the day, the stories go a certain way. This looked like from the beginning that we were going to get to some sort of Ted DiBiase larger story and that $1 million belt was going to come back. I never thought it wouldn't. But I also wasn't like invested in making sure that I got the word out that it would. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, you can just watch it and say, oh, there's a really good chance this happens. And then you put your chips down and say, I'm betting it does, and I'm reporting I heard it. And then when it happens, you can say, yep, I said it first. Yeah. So fucking what? Quit trying to ruin people's enjoyment of one product strictly to protect their enjoyment of your own. It's fucking bullshit. So if you're willing to play it close to the chest for one company, play it close to the chest for all of them. Grim Reaper does say Grimes needs to win, hands down. This is the part I want to know about. Jeremy even says it's the ultimate payoff to Cameron Grimes' millionaire story. All money pun intended. I'm going to start with you, Amanda. Anything else you want to say about the fucking dirt sheets, you go ahead and say it, but then follow it up with, who do you think ought to win this one?
Well, you know, I don't read that shit, to be quite honest. I mean, you know, it's just a bunch of dudes who, I don't know, they all want some kind of scoop or whatever. It's a big machismo kind of thing. And personally, I'm like, oh, whatever. You're not a reporter. You're not a journalist. I hate people who want to, you know, fans who are like, oh yeah, here's my scoop. No, fuck off. That's not journalism. Come on. But I kind of ignore it, you know. I did see it on Twitter and I was like, y'all can't let anybody have something nice, you know, and be surprised. So what I, in the back of my mind, would love, and I think I said it maybe before, is what if Virgil comes out somehow? That would be kind of awesome, you know, because that's not expected, you know? Yeah. And I mean, I think that would be great. That's my like secret wish, because that would make everything, or even, you know, Ted Jr. Yeah. That might be interesting, but you know, whatever. And not have anyone spoil that. I think that would be like fantastic. So, but that being said, because I can go on and on about dirt sheets and whatnot, but I will say that I don't want to say that this is a really hard decision on who's going to win with it. Is my heart and my gut really says that if you don't let Cameron Grimes win, then that his character doesn't mean shit at the end of the day. Because you can't have a character that's that fucking good that kind of is, you know, making fun of reality, because he did make a lot of money on the stock market for reals. So, you know, I mean, you kind of have to, in a way. But if LA Knight wins it, it's good either way, because both of them are phenomenal. But obviously, if you like someone who wants a good storyline, and I think that sometimes NXT is kind of lacking it a little bit lately, that's where you would go with that. So,
Justin, what do you think?
Cameron Grimes.
I completely agree. I think it's got to go to Cameron Grimes. I mean, even if it ends up on LA Knight, not really disappointed, because I feel like somehow they can get more out of this. I feel like somehow they'll figure a way to get more out of it, to get Grimes to get the title off him. But I would rather it go to Cameron Grimes, because it makes more sense for his character.
My thing is, I don't see a future where either person with that title doesn't make the absolute most of it. And I think that's a good problem to have. Is, yeah, I totally see what you mean about Cameron Grimes' character going to the moon and being a hillbilly, being called a hillbilly. It's a feel-good moment if he gets it, in a lot of ways. But I do see LA Knight as being that $1 million type guy. You know what I mean? Everything I touch is $1 million, you know? I don't see a world where either person winning is a negative, but I do see how it could hurt Cameron's character more than it could hurt LA Knight's to not have it. So I'm torn on this one, to be quite honest. Jeremy says Virgil will do anything for a payday, which I agree with 100%.
Big money.
Yep. He needs that breadstick money, dude. But I think, I don't know, these guys are just so good. They're so good. I also thought about this. You said that DiBiase Jr., what if he was some sort of a player? What if this is also their way of leading back into Junior? I know he does the church thing last we heard, and he was like, yeah, I'm done. I had my run. It was fine. But what if, just what if Cameron or LA Knight takes it, and all of a sudden DiBiase Jr. shows up and says, why are you running around with my legacy? That's supposed to be mine. And then, off to the races. I think it's possible.
Yeah. Because only reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should have said it like that. No, the only thing that I can think of is I'm pretty sure that Cody tried to convince Junior that, to do something, even if it was just once. And he probably got turned down. So it would be kind of, haha. But
right. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of ego in AEW.
Yeah, well, there's
So
a
if
lot
Cody's
of ego
like,
anywhere.
come back and do a thing with me. Yeah, there's ego everywhere. But there's also, like, doing something for what you perceive to be the right reasons, right? So it's one thing for Cody to be like, hey, we'll pay you a bunch of money if you come do this thing. Well, no, I don't need to do it for the money. It's another thing for Ted DiBiase to say, hey, what if you came to the run with my old title? Well,
Yeah.
it's a little more enticing than just coming back for a paycheck. Because it's coming back for a legacy.
Yeah.
And I do
And
think
it's
sometimes
his
things...
dad. It's his dad.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, sometimes it's like, hey, you can have all the money in the world, but if it's not for the right reason, you're not going to hit the right person every time.
Yeah.
So...
I'm kind
I
of
don't
liking these father-son kind of things that are around, Ray and his son, and if we had Junior come back, Ted, obviously Hook and Taz and all that fun stuff. So, I would say Darby and Sting, but I think honestly that's run its course. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cute at first, father and son, but not anymore.
All right. Well, let's kind of wrap this up. I'll just mention Grizzled Young Veterans versus Ciampa and Thatcher being teased is a match I'm ready for. The match I'm most excited for on In Your House is definitely, without a doubt, Grimes and LA Knight. Let's see. Bobby Fish had a little bit of thing. Oh, Io Shirai came back. That was cool. Anything you want to say about that, Justin?
Yeah, the Poppy thing when she first came up on the screen, and all it was a fucking album announcement, I was disappointed. But when she came out and she was like, and she brought Io Shirai back out, I'm like, all right, that makes up for that.
Yeah.
It does,
and the idea of Io versus Candice sounds good. You know what I mean? They're gonna have such a fucking tremendous match.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Anything you want to throw about that, Amanda?
No, I'm just kind of excited to see back. I don't know. I don't really still know who Poppy is, so whatever. I'm like, she's kind of weird. So I'm like, ugh. That's what kids like these days. I don't.
She has
know.
she has emo rap rock.
No, oh god,
freaking
no.
Dubstep. Like,
oh hell no.
Emo music. How the fuck do I even describe it?
No. Oh god, no. If I want my emo music, I'm turning to like the ones I can depend on, like Morrissey, Dashboard Confessional.
Yeah, that's kind of what her music is. She's kind of like,
but not with
she's
rap.
like the screamo. She's like a screamo Billie Eilish almost.
Ew. Okay,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
pass. Hard pass. But no, Cameron Grimes. That's for me. That's the main event.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest,
sure.
like Karrion Kross's match doesn't do anything for me. To be honest, it's just a lot of bodies in a ring. You
Yeah,
know?
that
Yep,
might be
let's
a
get
good
right
match.
there. Let's go real quick. Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai. I really liked that match. I don't have anything else to say about it. Anything you guys want to say about that before we talk main event concepts?
No.
Great.
Yeah. You can't really,
It was
I
just
think, with those two, it's hard to kind of really pick a winner with that one.
Yeah.
But I can kind of see where they kind of want it to go. So,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Yeah. And it's just another step in the out of nowhere storyline of Ember versus Raquel.
Mhm.
But it does bring us to the main event, this promo here with Karrion Kross where he calls out everybody and literally everybody comes out and talks some shit on him. Adam Cole shows up on the TV and says a bunch of fucking words. And then they cut it and then they all start punching each other and Adam Cole comes out, beats the shit out of everybody and holds up the title. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm completely 100% invested in LA Knight and Cameron Grimes as the most important storyline in all of NXT right now. I think second to that is Karrion Kross remaining champion. However, to me, what this looks an awful lot like is here's where you have someone get the title off Kross without Kross having to lose the title, so Kross can move the fuck on. He is too big and too good and too impressive to be in NXT at the end of the day, to me. Especially they just lost a lot of guys. I mean, they let him go. It's not like it was a fucking strike, but their roster is really thinned out the past month. I think a Karrion Kross on a SmackDown or a Raw could be real fucking impressive. The idea of Kross versus a Drew McIntyre instead of Drew McIntyre for a world title, a lot more interesting to me than Kross as the NXT champion. I don't know that Kross will accomplish anything as the NXT champion beyond what he's already accomplished. He's defeated Finn Balor twice. You have fucking 5 people in this match, and all 5 people could reasonably, believably hold that title. As much as I don't like Adam Cole and don't find him believable, he's believable enough as an NXT champion. Justin, what do you think about all of this, and is my head way up my ass?
No, because you pretty much just said exactly what I was about to say. This whole thing.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. When I said it too. When they announced the Fatal 5-Way, the first thing I said was, this feels kind of lazy, because this just feels like you couldn't figure out who you really wanted to be as challengers, so you just threw them all in there. And my instant negative to it also was, if Kross is going to retain here, you're running him through all his challengers already right there. Then what the hell's left of him? So clearly the only thing that would make sense is him getting called up. And this is just legit a match to get the title off him without him taking a pin. You put the title on somebody else. You still got all those challengers right there. It's starting to look very clear that this is a Kross call-up.
And it seems to me there's a lot of the 3-ways and 4-ways where someone loses the title without being pinned and all those technicalities and shit. It also seems to me when you have this caliber of a 5-man, it suddenly becomes impressive to win regardless. Any 5 of those people could have walked away champion because of how good all 5 of them are. So if you win, it really does feel like I beat all 5 of these people. You know what I mean? Where a lot of times there's a few people in there where you go like, well, they're there to take the pin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This
I
one
don't think
doesn't
there's
feel
a
that way.
direct obvious choice on who's eating the pin. I just think it's someone's losing to get the title. Someone's winning to get the title off of Kross so he can go on. That's just about it.
Yeah. Gargano is the one that's going to take the pin.
He should.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like, he can whine and whatever and try to be funny in his storyline next week. So, because I don't see Pete Dunne doing it. Definitely don't see Balor doing it.
Yeah. No, 100%. I don't know. With that in mind, I'm minorly interested in this match. I'm more interested in the outcome than the match. I think Fatal 5-Ways is pretty fucking cluttered as it is. I don't particularly enjoy Adam Cole or Gargano matches specifically, so 2 out of 5 already. I think Gargano needs to be choreographed for him to function. I thought the fatal three, what was it, the three-way or the four-way that had, it was a three-way with Gargano, Dunn, and O'Reilly. I thought because Gargano was in there, it was the worst O'Reilly and Dunn match I'd seen in a long time.
And I forget about Kyle.
Yeah. But those guys don't need to be fucking as scripted in every single movement they have as Gargano seems to need to do. I feel like Gargano brings those matches down in that way. Everything seems so rehearsed and so forced to me that I can't get into it. So I'm not excited about this. It is what it is. I'm curious to who's going to win. But I also am expecting Karrion Kross to show up on Raw or SmackDown before SummerSlam.
Just imagine his
we're at
SummerSlam
SummerSlam.
entrance.
Oof.
Right.
Oh, we're going to be there. I'm going to SummerSlam.
You are?
There's no way I'm not going. I got my
I
tickets
can't.
for
I wish I could.
SmackDown. The SmackDown before in Phoenix, I already got my tickets. We're going to be there.
Of course you do. Ding dong. Hello.
Ding dong. Hello. Yep. Not going to miss it, and there's almost nothing going to keep me away from being able to get those SummerSlam tickets. Try and stop me kind of a deal, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Justin, is there anything you think we're missing?
Nope. The only thing I can say about it is I think it's going to go on O'Reilly, who I want it to go on. Done.
Yeah, both those would be good. Dunn would be good because he had that super long reign as NXT UK champion.
Yeah, that's a perfect reason to put it back on, to put another title on him.
What do you think, Amanda?
I'm thinking that you're probably either going to get O'Reilly or Adam Cole's going to win it, and we're going to get that again. That's the immediate feeling I'm getting.
Oh God, I didn't think about
I
that.
know. And then somehow, I don't know, Bobby Fish might get involved in there. I don't know. I would love to see that just Bobby, but whatever. But that's
I
the
sound
feeling.
like a negative Nancy about that too, because I like Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. But my God, their freaking unsanctioned match was the longest fucking thing I've ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, this can be like that. But yeah, I think that. Yeah, it's really hard to say. I'd love to see him on Balor, but honestly, I don't think it's going back that way.
I think Balor's going back up to the main roster. I do.
Put him on SmackDown. Put him against Reigns. Let's do it. Prince
That's
versus
what I want to see.
Tribal
Cross
Chief.
and Reigns. That's what I want to see.
No, I want Balor and Reigns
Well,
first.
that too. Yeah.
Prince versus Tribal Chief. The headline's right there.
There you go.
Yep. Let's see. Grim Reaper says, I think Cole gets called up after this match too. Nah, get the fuck out of here. There's no way.
How do you really feel about that, Marsh?
Yeah,
Damn,
no
Marsh.
way. Dunn has no place on the main roster. There's real wrestlers up there. He's got no place. What are you gonna have? You have Adam Cole. I mean Cole, not Dunn. Do you think Adam Cole versus Roman Reigns? What do you think is gonna fucking happen? There's just no fucking way. You want Adam Cole against Bobby Lashley? He's gonna pull out the victory on that one. The fuck out.
Not even Drew McIntyre, I don't
I
think.
was about to say, what if Drew takes the title and Cole takes the title off of Drew?
I don't know. It's big old Mac and fart, I guess. He does say Dunn is the next big bad guy. Cole has done everything he could in NXT. And he said, yeah, he has done everything he can in NXT. Doesn't mean there's anything for him anywhere else. He's peaked is what it is.
Well,
This
there
is it for
something
him.
Else for him, but
Well,
different company.
yeah, he can go to AEW and fucking fall into the YouTube void. That's fine with me.
No, him and his old lady can rule the school.
Oh,
He's
God.
champ
I'm
now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe so. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we're missing here. Anything that you thought we didn't touch here, Justin?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
Amanda, anything you think we're missing?
Nope, but I just want to say that I love the toothless Tim comment. I don't remember if it.
So good.
I don't know if it was Vic, or if it
Sounds
was,
like Wade.
if it was wait, I almost called him Stu, or wait, who said it? But that just got me. It tickles me.
Toothless
Sounds like a
Timmy.
Wade thing.
Toothless Timmy. I got to go back
Well,
to hear who that was. But that was like the best line. Well, besides anything that Cameron Grimes and LA Knight were doing, that was like the best line.
yeah.
I was just like, whoa, poor Tim. Jeez, he can't help it.
I thought Ciampa called him it though.
Did Ciampa call him it before?
I don't know. I
that's
think
probably
he
true.
did. I think Ciampa called him it. I think he picked up the mic and he was like, "Me and Toothless Timmy here," and I was like,
"Oh, I must have missed that."
"Damn, I hope it was." Now I hope it was Ciampa because that'd be pretty fucking funny.
That would be hilarious. Yeah, I can see a shirt. Him, Ciampa, and Toothless Tim.
I can see that for sure.
No, yeah.
Grim Reaper in the chat says Frankie Monet is on the way to the title. Xia Li too. I think Xia Li is far more believable. This is the weird thing about Frankie Monet is it's going to sound like it's not, and it's not. I think Frankie Monet is just in NXT to get used to how they do TV and how to face the hard cams, and then I think she's on her way. I don't think she's staying in NXT. She's just here for a cup of coffee.
There's no way.
Yeah, I don't even think she's going to touch the NXT Women's title. I think they're going to freaking call her up before that even happens.
She'll be touching one of the other titles before, up on the main roster before she.
There's the person that takes it off Bianca.
Yeah, she's got a better shot at taking the SmackDown title, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, is that where John Morrison?
No, he's on Raw.
It's on Raw. Oh.
But then again, think about it. If you had that title, because they're probably going to give it to Charlotte. If you had Charlotte and Frankie, or even Rhea and Frankie, that seems more believable to me than Frankie and Io right now, to be honest. Or wait, who's the women's? Raquel? Yeah. I don't know that I think I agree with you. I don't think tops she gets one shot at the title, loses it, and moves on. I don't think she's going to be going for anything. Reaper says Io gets called up too. I could see that really soon, actually.
Yeah.
Xia Li is so good. Xia Li is so good, but I think she's that next level Asuka good. That I think that she's the type that you say, I'm gonna keep in NXT for a while and tent pole the whole women's organization around her for a bit. You know? Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. None of us know. We're just guessing.
And I think the whole storyline with Ken Shaw and the whole thing, there's so many things that, we don't know. And I think that if you move it to the main roster, that's just going to completely die off.
Yeah, you just lose it all.
Oh, yeah.
No, because they do something weird and put her with Bliss against Bliss, and they'd have some weird supernatural character battle, and it'd be weird.
That would be kind of
cool. I wanted them with Aleister Black, and then that went the way that it went. So, let's see. Grimber does say, you think the power couple of Eva Marie and Frankie Monet would take over? No, I think they could.
Oh God, no!
Dear God, no!
They could do it. They could do it. That'd be great. That'd be good stuff right there. All right.
Oh, by the way,
anything else?
What we did not mention, Cameron Grimes. Did y'all see him roll up in that nice new Rolls Royce?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, upgrade.
Yeah, I wish Clump was here to tell me if it's a good car or not.
Well, it's no
He's
Dodge
car
Viper.
guy.
Sorry.
It's a Rolls Royce.
I'm mean about it.
No.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. I think we've talked about a lot of stuff. I like this one. I always like our Thursdays. It's a lot more of a chill, but deeper kind of conversation. I like how much we get into the weeds about stuff on Thursdays. Just want to remind everybody, New Wave Coffee, NOOWAVE.co. Their website is where you can get all their orders. You can get you can get a single bag of coffee, or you can subscribe to it, get it every week, every other week, every month, or every other month. You can use the promo code CHEERS for an additional 10% off the already ongoing sale. So you can double down on your percentage off, which is awesome, fantastic. This coffee is so good, I asked to be part of it, and it supports pro wrestling. The owner is an indie pro wrestler who was trained by Lance Storm. He goes by the name of Brody Weiss. Coffee's got L-thymine and raw cacao, and does not give you those negative side effects like anxiety and high blood pressure that other coffees will give you. This helps with your mind. So, guys, thank you for coming through. Thank you for having a drink with us. Thank you for checking us out this week. Anything you guys want to say? Amanda, you want to tell people where to find you?
You can find me at Ms. Amanda Jane at Twitter and Instagram.
Justin, where people find you?
Find me JustinTime on Twitter. I'll be around. Our side of the IWC is gonna spread like fucking wildfire.
Mm-hmm. Damn straight.
Oh, yeah. On this side of the IWC, in this dive bar of the IWC, you can find me at Ref Marsh on Twitter. Guys, I am working for Pro Wrestling for Life with Sean X-Pac Waltman. This week on their Patreon, an interview is going to drop as an exclusive for Patreon. I got the opportunity to sit down with Jimmy Corderas, the referee from WWE of 20-plus years, and I got to pick his brain for almost 20 minutes. Sitting down with him, talking with him and Sean Waltman at the same time was a dream experience to be able to do that. And so I want you guys to enjoy that as well. Check out the Patreon for Pro Wrestling for Life. Check out my interview with Jimmy Corderas and Sean Waltman. Also, there's a brand new t-shirt for Pro Wrestling for Life on the ProWrestlingTees.com/ProRes4Life. I did the design. It's AC/DC inspired. Guys, I appreciate you coming through and having a drink with us. I appreciate you guys always supporting us on this side of the IWC, at this dive bar of the IWC. Come back on Tuesday where we're going to do episode 1 one more time again. Guys, that's the last call.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.